lock up to
thank
try
you.
to kill the king,
yeah.
right? He's there to.
But
to be
he'll also
punished as well.
he's also protect us from the king, right?
No,
No.
I
definitely
mean,
not.
that's not why they bring him. It's not the king's plan that's how it should go. But the Stone Speaker did seem rather concerned about the king, and especially his buxom young mistress, who has been keeping all too much talk to. And the Stone Speaker doesn't think that that's a good influence upon him.
Could someone explain why we're going to talk to the king again? It's been so long.
I think that's the conversation. Like, what are you hoping to gain?
I think the reason we would talk to the king is, I think, to first of all warn him that his city is about to explode, and that he might want to see to that if he cares. That probably won't do anything because he has a succubus whispering evil into his ear. So that's probably not going to help. But I feel sort of obligated to try a little bit at least. Other than that, it might be... I'm not sure exactly how it works, but my initial thought was maybe we could ask him for like an escort or like traveling papers or something to make it easier to traverse his domain. So if you run into a Dwerga patrol, we're not immediately assaulted and like taken prisoners again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something like this. These people travel with the authority of the king. Don't touch them.
Okay, I like that.
We could, of course, also ask him if there's any caravans leaving for Blytonstone, and maybe hook up with that, because traveling in numbers down here might be a better idea than just going at it alone. And my character has certainly never been to Blytonstone and doesn't even know how to get there necessarily.
You do know that officially the city has been closed for all the time you've been here. Like, the gates are closed, nobody goes anywhere. And the king on the matter has just not really said anything.
I mean, then it sounds like a decent thing would be to see if we can get passage out of this.
Well, so we don't have to swim out.
Yeah, the water isn't super healthy.
No, maybe
Stuff lives in it.
Then asking him for permission to leave his city might be a good idea. We might want to tell him where we're going. We might not, because we do know that the Drow is around. They might be like...
We could avoid saying where we're going.
However, the Drow are very good at tracking us anyway, and have tracked us wherever we have gone so far. Like, it doesn't matter if Demogorgon himself have laid waste to our tracks. They have still picked them up.
Well, they just went here because it's, a big city to look for.
Or they just went here. Who can say?
Yeah.
Who can say? But if they are going to pick up our trail anyway, let them tussle about the bureaucracy a bit. The king might be like, yes, I might know where they've gone, and then they're going to stay here 2 weeks trying to convince, him to spill the beans.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, it sort of works. I think. Those were my ideas, at least, for talking to the king.
And we're fleeing the city because we don't want to give Thimbleshard anything anymore.
Yes. We are done with Thimbleshard. It's time to leave.
I mean, he has given us one of those math problems where you will quickly
gouge your own
basically
eyes out.
drown him in money.
Yes.
Like, literally.
It would be good if we could.
If we managed to fulfill it every time, this city would explode in gold very quickly.
In a week, it would just be a mountain of... It would, be destroyed, really.
Well, if we lock him in via his own gold, that'd be a very ironic death.
See a clip from the surface, a farmer just harvesting, and then he plows, and what? He picks up coins like a...
So,
it's just a rumble, and then like a coin explodes.
I'm just saying.
It's like Old Faithful, but gold.
Yep, exactly.
I'm just saying, Halldamir, I just amused by the idea now of him being surrounded by gold, him breathing fire, and actually just melting himself into a block of gold.
Oh yes, he'd have to continuously breathe fire to melt it. What on earth, sheep?
That would be the amount of gold we would have to bring it if we stayed for a year.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much gold.
I don't know how much gold that is. That's so much
What's
gold.
What's that in astral diamonds?
Yes. Can we pay in astral diamonds?
Part of a dying star. How?
Exactly.
No, but he probably would enjoy seeing you struggle,
Yeah, that
like
seems
apologize and
to be his MO, sort of.
maybe scratch his belly or something.
Oh,
while you
we get
grovel.
yeah.
You can work some of it off.
Like wash him with like rags on sticks because he can't do it himself anymore.
He doesn't bathe.
Everything
Except
just
in
melts. In money.
Yeah, but you could pay him for a while and be okay. Probably.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave. I think Neil is here.
I am.
Hi.
Hi.
No.
Hey, Neil. We were waiting for you.
Oh, thank you.
So hopefully you're feeling okay and
Yeah, good.
good.
You need the assistance of a cleric.
I did the horrible thing of writing that number out properly.
Okay. Let me do a very quick recap then, because last session was basically me the session with all the talking I've done there. We started off still in the undergrounds, with Gash wanting to primarily talk to Riordan about the Wormling. The party had sort of decided, we want to get rid of the Wormling because he's a terrible inconvenience. But Sorula wasn't quite on board with that, like killing an infant, but she wasn't too vocal. But Gash managed to get Riordan on his side as well, giving him a majority. Much to everyone's dismay. What followed was basically us disguising the red wormling with a little bit of self-made purple paint and basically hoping to give us the ability to just call it, that's not a red dragon, that's a pseudo dragon, like the one that follows Gash around. Yeah. Right. So we came back to the city. We first talked to the Keepers of the Flame, who were very interested. We basically told them, we found that egg, but it was destroyed. Here are some ledgers that might or might not make our story more believable. They bought it. We also told them, we have to talk to Fembershaw because he wanted us to come. And oh boy, what was that a talk? He was upset, to say the least, that we didn't manage to give him what he wanted. And made our lives for the next, in-game hour or so quite terrible. As Gash not only didn't want to get eaten by him, he also wanted to get something from him to soothe Liam, which is the Spiral Vanguard treasure that he was sitting on. Eventually, after offering him money and other minor items, and also standing in a corner watching him cook slaves while we danced, it was managed, and Fembershaw parted with the sword that used to belong to the Spiral Vanguard. Gash was very happy because he knew he could do it, and everything was going to his plans and whatnot. Then we talked to the Merchant Council person, I think, who hired us to find out what happened with the surface coins, for which we simply gave him the ledger that explained more or less thoroughly where those coins came from. So that was good. I believe from them we got a discount for one weapon or armor if we buy one, as well as more rights to buy from the city. And last but not least, we went to talk to the Stone Giants, because we stopped the ritual, which ended up in the ritual killing one of their own. And we stopped it, so surely they would be grateful. And it turns out they were. In addition to them being grateful, Gash mentioned what he heard in the Cavern of Secrets or whatever, that still has made him somewhat mad, but it was all worth it. Something about about the library he's been looking for. Turns out that the Stone Giants have like a crystalline shard which acts as like a window that acts as if it was still attached to presumably that library, so you can sort of look into it and see into there, which Gash got given. She's very happy about. The library, however, is supposedly very deep down, and we're sort of going up, so that's a bit awkward. The Stone Giants have also arranged for us a meeting with the king of the Durga of the city. They are concerned about the king because of his mistress, and apparently us talking to the king has some sort of point. Gesh thinks it's a sort of bad idea because we should just leave, but maybe we can get something from that.
The sort of discount thing we got, was that actually a discount or?
I have it
gold off armor.
150 gold discount for one item, which must be a weapon or an armor.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love a plate mail if we can somehow make that happen.
I mean, I got like.
I mean,
I got some money that I could throw at it, like almost a third.
in our party pile currently is about 607 gold, including the 300 we put aside for potential resurrection. I don't know how much plate mail is, but it's probably a lot. Maybe you can ask the king.
1500.
It's 1500 for plate mail.
So much.
It's quite a lot.
It is a lot.
So much.
But I think in game we decided to just take a day of doing absolutely nothing as the Stone Giants arranged the meeting in a little house they have provided, which is nice.
Party token here is the house.
Yeah.
Under their protection.
Yeah. So perhaps I think you all decided to stay indoors. If anyone left, because you basically, while some of you were in watching Thimberchard's little joy party. The rest of you were holding up in a house where you did notice some drow who were walking around with some of the orc slavers you saw, and they were apparently looking for you, or at least looking for someone. Meaning that there are probably people in this town, and word might spread, and there might be money involved and whatnot. That could be problematic if not dealt with in some way. Currently, apparently, you were also, when you visited the guard captain, I think you forgot in your recap.
Oh yeah, the guard captain.
Yeah, we were referred to by the merchant woman, and you informed her of quite a few things about the grey ghosts, and she was very happy. And she doesn't like drow, as it turns out. She thinks that they're chaotic people who ruin the order of the city, and that they're really just not great people. So she had taken some delight in placing, as a thank you to you, other work ahead of dealing with the drow's request for having you delivered to them as lost property.
She also said that she planted some rumors to point them towards the Darrow part of
Yes,
town,
the
right?
Darrow quarter.
Which
So they're
could
gonna
mean
get
that
stabbed.
yes, or we follow them in there and stab them ourselves.
I mean, I believe she did actually tell us kind of like where exactly, what kind of stuff some of them said.
If that is the
Did
case,
certainly suggest very much that that she would try to get them to go there to a place where their bodies would not be found.
that sounds like some work for us then, people, because the fewer drow that hunt us, the better.
Divide and conquer, some would say.
Mm-hmm. I think we should do that, absolutely.
It's worth doing.
Now, it is, of course, the Darrow quarter, which is not a nice place.
No.
No, but we are not nice
We might
people.
just get killed by Darrows
Not very
ourselves.
popular with the Darrow either. Probably.
But who are really?
It's true. Yeah, but for your day inside, what have you each been training? You've been
Yes.
singing. Let's just see. What have you each been doing? Let's go round.
Liam he took command of like one of the bigger rooms or cavernous rooms in this little house, and basically moved all the furniture out of the way, if there was any. And then he has like drawn up weird lines and like patterns on the ground, like arrows pointing in different directions, small little runes and stuff. Really weird, but after all of that been set up and done, you will have seen him train with his new greatsword, which he has named Fang. and basically he has been following the lines and the runes and stuff on the ground, seemingly to be fencing patterns or like strike patterns and poses, and like basically getting to know the weapon. That is most what he has done that during the day.
Assigning it as his arcane, like he's
Exactly.
playing. Like, yes.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, as for Gash,
There's basically a lot of grunts and sweaty orc in that room, so your mileage
It's
may
not a
vary
good
in there.
smell. It's like
No,
a little bit of like
you know, it's
a little musky.
yeah, it's might need some airing out when he's done, but very impressive if someone looks. I mean, he's 18 strength, so there's a lot to look at.
None of the NPCs hang out there.
No,
because like no one really generally does with Liam except for Eldith, and she isn't. I mean,
She's shy.
could appreciate, but he is not. He's a half orc and not such.
she'll come around.
It's training and whatnot. She's spending some time with Stool and Rumberdump instead because they make her feel comfortable and happy. So. And she doesn't like this city in general. She thinks it's a terrible nest full of vermin, and she would like to free all the slaves and such. But
So, for Gash, first of all, I have a suggestion for you, Menekai. Because this might be a situation where Gash is a character with a lot of foresight, he'd like to think, and I, as a person, am not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
He would like to potentially go out into the markets, heavily like clouded and disguised and whatnot. He's fairly good at that. To buy supplies which may or may not help in the future to help disguise the wormling if necessary. Now, I'm not sure what exactly those items would be, but perhaps we could have an abstract budget of items that he can procure so that I can, in the future, should a situation arise, be like, hey, I have 50 gold pieces worth of stuff that helps me disguise the wormling, and that just happens to be like a piece of red cloth because that is useful in this situation. Basically, like I wouldn't know what items he would buy, but he would like to buy some items.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. To what extent would you want to have this forever? Basically, just look at things that are similar in what they cost. You got tell you what, you got a component pouch. As long as the dragon is a wormling, I'll say if you buy like a component pouch, like that's like 25 gold pieces worth of, let's call it like a disguise kit.
Sure.
And then you
Funny
got enough to powder it or wrap it in cloth or whatever like disguising thing you want to do to it.
Funnily enough, they cost exactly the same amount.
That is ideal then. I would like to do that. Although, of course, trying to go about.
So let's see how well you disguise yourself, because they're actually,
Okay, disguise, I believe, falls under deception.
It does?
Yeah, I should think so.
That is shit.
I'll let you use it as stealth, basically.
I mean, I could roll stealth as well. But deception is definitely better.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Not particularly great, but in addition to going out and about into the markets, basically, that's a high roll. Gash in the morning will take a good chunk of time to talk to the wormling in Draconic. Quite a long thing. If asked by anyone, he's basically, even though he knows that the little thing isn't going to be able to understand him, telling it its options, its future, and those things.
Does he bring it?
To the market? No.
Does he leave it somewhere?
Liam will have to take a break and watch it.
It can be in the room with Liam.
Sure. As it sees Liam training, it'll try to mimic what he's doing.
Oh,
he's
Uh,
gonna
with-
become
with
a sword.
Very fumbling at the beginning, but at the end of the day, perhaps a surprising slight bit of insight into why he's doing what he's doing. Some such. Seems to be
Sword
learning very
dragon.
quickly.
he's
He's gonna become a
adorable.
bronze Tananim.
So Gash will teach it philosophy and the
He will
and
be.
wisdom, and Liam does all the menial tasks.
Listen, baby dragon, there is no good and evil. There are merely concepts. And the weak to hold down.
The strong.
Maybe,
What we really need is an Uber dragon to rule over everything.
maybe,
Like,
maybe Cyrilla will teach it
Anyway,
about good gods.
the spiritual
Good God,
character
yeah.
I
dragon.
mean, wouldn't Cyrilla be the one who believes in like the enlightened nobility? Who's like, yeah, some people are born. It's important that they are wealthy and such. They don't have to worry about food, so that they can spend their time learning how to rule.
Elves
Yeah,
are
lesser.
usually not Democrats. It's true.
No,
They're-
yeah. Democratic.
I mean,
They're
for
much more
generations we've been made into the perfect rulers for the
Yes.
kingdom. So.
We are the perfect
they're-
people.
Well, we will just put Gesh over here for now. He's out in the market.
Bye,
So
guys.
he'll be ambushed by now.
You shall die.
What's Cyrilla doing?
She's still reeling from the horrific act that she had to endure. And is probably spending most of her time praying and writing in her journal. That's her typical thing. Maybe talking to people, just passing. Nothing huge.
What's she
Just-
writing? Is it just a diary or?
Yeah, sort of her inner thoughts as she goes about like her little adventure. Oh, I should just go a little bit crazy with everything that's going on, you know. Just trying to stave it off as best as she can. If she can keep her thoughts collective and written down, she starts to think that she's going a bit mad. She can compose herself by realizing, no, she remembers everything quite clearly.
Is Riordan staying close by during this day, or what's he doing?
Riordan himself, he got himself an empty, I suppose, spellbook, you would say, but instead he's going to use it and sit down and basically just chronicle what has been happening to him so far up to this point. Just get it out of his head and onto paper. And it's gonna take him the majority of the day. He's gonna be near Cyrilla while she's doing probably the same, and asking her some questions about details he might have forgotten. But other than that, he'll probably end up with a pretty good.
Descriptions of all the stuff that was in the dark that he couldn't see.
Yes.
He had huge black fangs and everything's
That's why
in big black and white.
Cyrilla is there to put in those details. I'm there to just put in the emotions.
Riordan sits with a moment of thought, tapping the pen on his face, and writing the title. Out of the Abyss, a Halfling's Tale.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's going to be doing, and through that he kind of gains a better understanding of not only his own situation but his relationship with his other companions. And he feels that maybe he might be able to better spur them to action next time he tries.
Yeah. I mean, Gesh, they will go with you if you want them to, but Jim Jazz kind of hoped he would be playing cards with the others.
Oh,
But no, he'll go with you if that's if you need him for anything.
As
I mean,
Jonas
it's
died.
It's just in case.
He does like gambling though, and it's got deep pockets. There's a lot of room for winnings in there.
if he wants to stay, he can. He won't be forced.
Does
I'll
Gesh
play
want to
dice
just
with
not
you.
do anything? Go and gamble his money away instead. Because Rund is playing, and Rund always loses when he plays with him. So.
I mean, no, Gash has some important things to take care of. Some of the day will be spent on gambling.
Mhm.
And by gambling, Gash, of course, thinks of winning and not actually playing. Losing is out of the question.
Stool and Myrmidon plays together because Stool doesn't have arms, so. But Hemeth will go because he understands that this is what he's being paid for. So, who knows when you might need a sharp weapon? What is Roland doing?
Roland throughout the day, he's still mute at this point, but as is a problem. Roland throughout the day is going to be doing. I mean, he's got a few things he'll end up doing. One thing he'll do to kind of distract his time a bit, of course, is he's been handling food this entire time. He's going to be cooking, of course, and sorting people out, making sure they're okay in that regard. But other than that, Roland will be doing one of two things throughout the day. He'll either be spending time by himself writing in his journal, almost in a sense trying to recreate his kind of like his old diary that's now been destroyed by Drow, using his amazing elven memory, of course, to kind of bring it all back and kind of rewrite it, but all. And the other half of his day will be spent over here on the gambling table.
Yeah.
He's not the best at hiding his emotions. On the other hand, he has an amazing insight skill, so he knows when everyone else is bluffing.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be able to speak to be able to play cards. He can make gestures. So.
How does he deal with the voice that can speak to him in his head?
Part of him is slightly annoyed because he can't reply quite properly. Not at the moment because he's mute. But I mean,
it seemed to have some sort of empathy link as well to the wielder. It's weird. So.
But Roland, I mean, it could be worse. In a sense, I mean, Roland does kind of, in a sense, like the idea of not necessarily having to be alone all the time. Though he's almost a little bit cautious about it, I suppose, at the current moment, though, trying to, in a sense, needing to kind of figure out exactly, what it's like. Which apparently, from what we've heard so far, is loud and good.
Yeah. Yeah. Not stupid, not overly pushy in any way, but certainly good, and wishing for good to be done in the world. When you do stuff like play cards, doesn't really comment, just sort of is a sword or a hilt. But when you later go to donate the money to charity, he'll cheer you on.
I imagine it might have an interesting reaction then when it's like sitting beside Roland and it sees like Roland writing out and like talking about like the reason he came into the Underdark in the first place being to like rescue people, and like that's kind of reason. I'm sure he'll have a bit of reaction to that.
He's sure that once we find the people who took your family, we'll deal with them as justice deserves.
Roland will. Well, he can't reply. He will nod to this.
Have faith. For hope is the only thing we can never let go of.
Roland will nod again.
And the hilt. Don't let go of that either.
He will nod a third time.
Yeah. So guess he's out shopping, buying various things. When let's just move him all the way over to the market, because that's quite a distance actually. He's like feeling that he's pretty well disguised. And he is, as it turns out, pretty well disguised. Just apparently not necessarily well enough. And that's really just something that can happen, because people who are looking for him aren't particularly bad at that. So, we have you over here shopping, doing what you do, buying things, trying to be stealthy and not obvious at all. But he's a player character and smart enough to expect perhaps that he would be seen. He's also not very unperceptive. So although he may not notice who noticed him, he'll notice that a few orcs at some point seem to be lingering around, just sort of within a move action of him, looking around at all the populated people. There even seems to be a large sort of hairy creature, an ogre with a big maul club, looking at him and like grunting and scratching itself, seemingly
Ogre
just
with a
waiting
large
for
club.
something.
Uh,
They're not like close enough, but
Is
he's
it
feeling watched by them.
is it at all obvious what they are waiting for? Is it like make a wrong move and we'll do something, or we're waiting for that guy?
They don't seem to necessarily know that you've seen them.
Okay, well that's good.
Seemingly, it might be a signal, it might be a trigger, it might be something. But yeah, they're keeping an eye on you.
So what's the environment like currently? Like
basically, there's like a bunch
busy
of
market?
stalls everywhere. The place is lit by the purple and green gas lights that are most places. The place down here at the docks don't get the nice dragon flame sort of areas as further in the city. So it's a very sort of multicolored light. There's this slight hissing, like from all the gas lights constantly. It's sort of a burnt smell. There's the smog that rolls down from the walls of the main city, sort of rolling slowly across the ground out over the lake. The sound of hammers, of tools, people walking, carrying all sorts of stuff. Stalls everywhere with strange lizard people and whatnot, shopping and buying things and going to their little boats and stuff. Though they're not allowed to leave. Commerce is something that never stops here, given that there's no day and night as well. Like there's kids running across and just it's a chaotic place of constant movement and noise and activity.
All right, a lot of bustle. So Gasho's plan, after he notices that he's being watched, create a distraction and get the fuck out because he doesn't want to take any chances. Maybe he could both use his sense of dramatic timing as well as his telepathy to cause a bit of a scene. But I wouldn't entirely know how exactly. Perhaps sort of tricking one of the like weird lizard folk walking past the orcs watching Gash. That it wasn't actually telepathy that talked to them, but actually the orcs who insulted them terribly. And of course,
in what language will he insult the lizardman?
Oh, that's a good point. He doesn't speak Orcish. Oh, they're not going to know Common. Oh, that's terrible. Draconic might work. He'll try Draconic. Because obviously the orcs speak Draconic, and the lizard folk might too. So he wants to basically create a scene.
By telepathically speaking to the lizard.
Yeah.
Or lizard man.
And hoping that they think it was the orcs who said something.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're looking at a DC lizardman wisdom, which is a 12. He's not particularly smart lizardman, but
what kind of skill would you think?
Deception. Right?
Deception.
All right. To deceive someone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no. You do it. The lizardman just sort of, like looks around, eyes moving across. Maybe like his eyes like meet yours for a second, and sort of take a second before passing over. Doesn't believe it's the orc. Does believe it's someone trying to fuck with him. As he just like shrugs and like leaves, goes on with his business.
Well, in that case, let's just leave. Try to take some weird routes as to not be too traceable, and not be too obvious as he's leaving.
Sure. Yeah, and this might be a thing where Hameth can help you a little bit, because he knows the city somewhat, at least this part of it. Though he will note that going into an alleyway has its own risk, because if they can follow you, there aren't going to be a lot of people there. And, well, generally when there's a lot of people, they will jump in and kill anyone who tries to fight in their city.
Yeah, let's stick to people. Let's melt into the crowds, as it were.
All right. Try that.
Would that be stealth?
Stealth. Yeah, definitely.
Gash isn't too great at stealth. No, he's not.
Not particularly.
Help.
I'm writing a book. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for him, whoever's following him is pretty good at not at seeing people. He doesn't notice the orcs though, and he seems to lose them. And yeah.
Well, that's
just,
good.
The crowds.
Well, Gash will, I suppose, continue walking back to the hideout because, well, that's the only safe place in the entire day. But he would like to make sure that nobody is following him.
Sure. How will he do that?
Well, he would like to be aware of anyone following him, and if so, go a different way until they stop following him, and then turn back to the hideout.
Sure. Give me your check, and let's see if you can try to see someone following you.
You can do it this
So,
time.
perception?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Finger Muncher gives me advantage on this. For an 8.
Oh no.
God.
It appears that there's no one following you.
Oh, well, that's good. Then straight back to the hideout.
Okay, straight back.
I mean, anything else would be metagaming.
Or paranoia.
Or paranoia, yes.
All right. So he goes straight back. He did manage to buy the stuff he needed. Since they were just kind of watching him. How does he feel as he goes back and finally reaches the door?
Well, first of all, not happy.
Outside.
Not happy because he thought himself pretty good at what he does. Considering that this isn't too different from what he did back in his home. But apparently it's just not enough, and he's worried because he thinks nobody followed, but there are definitely people around, and he will share that fact rather hastily that there are people looking for us, and they got orcs, all those things.
The stone giant, actually, as you walk through the door, because these are pretty damn perceptive, amazingly perceptive, actually. He'll actually look at you and just say a single phrase. They're generally not very talkative. Something like, you followed.
Cash frowns. By who or what exactly?
Someone of your size, wearing a hood. Not a dwergar. Drow, likely. Some sort of elf.
Gosh, size. He's basically already in the door of the building, isn't he?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
No point turning away and pretending that this isn't where we're staying.
No one will enter this house today.
Well, that is good, but I'm worried about once we leave. Although I suppose your kind will escort us to our meeting, so that's useful. He sighs again as he enters.
Yeah, the giant doesn't do any more small talk.
No.
He's not there because he wants to. He was told to protect the house.
Gesh will frown at the floor of the house for a bit before he tells the others. He was out. He found Drow, who presumably hired some orcs to follow us, and he was in fact followed. They know we're here.
I see. Do you still think the false trail leading into the Dwera area would still draw them out, or is that not an option anymore?
No.
Liam looks unhappy at Gesh.
Gesh mirrors that disappointment in himself perfectly. And genuinely. Thought himself better than this. But luck wasn't on his side.
Eldith has she doesn't like the gambling, so she happens to be around, doing what Liam told her to do last time, basically keeping an eye out of the windows and such. Just
Yep.
She doesn't trust the people of the city, doesn't trust the giants either, because they're evil beings of the Underdark, and yeah, everything here is evil basically. So. So she'll having not really seen anyone, just look at the two of you having your conversation and sort of motion that she would like to butt in, but understanding Liam sometimes, appreciates a warning.
Backhands people.
Only when they are incredibly rude to him. And last time he actually didn't only backhand, he actually cut him with Dawnbringer.
Yes, I know.
Hemeth has left. He's going to the gambling table, hoping to catch a round before.
Sure, she is welcome to. I appreciate her input. She's a sane person.
Sure. Close and say, why don't we just let Ront go outside? Tell him we're going there to do some mission, and if he keeps faith with us, he sort of looks to Liam with a look that says, "Oh, he won't."
Mm-hmm.
Then we will have no issue. And if he does betray us, well, I suppose we'll have proof that was his plan all along. She looks to Gesh, slightly happy with the turn of events.
Gesh sort of scratches his, what is that, muzzle? His mouth.
Liam nods at Eldith. This all sounds very reasonable to him.
We just needed a place where the guards won't intercede if they attack us, and make it seem like we're the weaker party, no? They probably would think that we are just by the fact of who we are. So looks just hope they're not right, I suppose.
So
I would also like to teach those orcs a lesson, if nothing else.
I definitely agree with you there. So you're suggesting what exactly? We tell Ront to leave to do some mission or another?
Go buy something. Give him some sort of task that seems important. So it looks conspiratorially around. And tell him that we need to meet him in the Darrow Quarter. Just by the edge. Bring something like shrugs. I don't know. Send him to fetch wine. Just shrugs.
So then, two possible outcomes. He is, in fact, on our side, does as he's asked, and will be imprisoned by the drow following us, presumably get shrugs. Or perhaps he will be left alone, as he is only one of the many they are after. Or you think he will cooperate with them?
She shrugs sort of faintly and says, I suppose we will see.
Gesh sighs a little bit. I can understand, although not mirror your suspicions, as Ront has done very few things. In fact, no things that would suggest that he is willing to go that far. His opinions...
She rolls her eyes.
His opinions and his actions might be extreme, but that is just because that is what he is used to.
Liam shakes his head. You don't need to defend him, Gesh. He is a mean-spirited creature. And if we hadn't beat him into submission, he would have sold us out in the first opportunity.
Perhaps if, wherever he grew up, beating someone into submission wasn't the norm, that would be very different. You're suggesting...
don't care. I don't care, Gesh. I don't care what norm he is from. I don't care about his upbringing. I don't care about his life story. I care about if he's going to betray us or not.
In the corner, the wormling sort of listens Yes,
Yeah.
Eldest nods.
Don't talk
Mom,
like this
Dad,
in front
don't
of the
fight.
baby.
Not again.
Wormley, get out of here!
Might I suggest something that is probably going to surprise you? Perhaps we should ask Ront if he would like to betray us, if he would ever think of such a thing. Not while threatening him, but rather while actually listening for once.
Liam shakes his head.
I
Shakes
can
your
honestly see few reasons why he would even consider. He was trapped just as we were. He might have not had as bad of an imprisonment term as he entertained the Drow with his actions, but that does not mean that he doesn't harbor the same resentment that all of us do.
Like Liam again just shakes his head. Speaking to him, no. He has done nothing to deserve that, I think.
You've never given him the chance to prove that he
Every
does.
time he has spoken to me, he has been rude, and I have been very close of going quite far in my displeasure with him. It's only because you are here that he is still alive. And I don't like him. In fact, I despise him.
Eldest nods and says, I like the Drow better than him.
You've never given him the chance to surprise you. I will.
And says, when my people give his people the chance to surprise us, we die.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about people, shall we? Because all of us can be put into shelves with all the others.
Cirilla is literally.
She just
on the
exasperately
shelf
sort of does a.
that she's-
Ah. She
Yeah,
goes to do something else angrily.
Liam just rolls his eyes. Gosh.
Rita was going to interject, and then he's just like, oh, no. Let's go back to writing.
Gesh sighs. I can see that you think very strongly about this. If you do agree with Elder's plan, Liam, then I will not stand in your way. The practical benefits are undeniable, and my moral objections are secondary to our survival.
Liam nods. Good. We will do it then.
Gesh nods. I suspect you would like me to send Ront on this important mission.
I can do it.
Please do.
I have beaten him into an inch of his life a few times. He should listen to me, I believe.
Gesh sighs, looking over to Ront.
Mm.
Before you do, I would.
As someone has gambled him out of his money again.
Yeah. Before you do, however, I would like to talk to him. Not to ask him or give our plans away, but just to see who he is before we potentially send him to his death, as you suggest once again.
Be sure to talk to the nice orc about his tender little feelings. I will be training.
Tender little feelings.
Will you betray us? No. Okay.
No.
It's fine, guys.
He said so.
He said so.
The evil murderous orc said it was.
What
fine.
Gesh would basically like to do here, and I'm not sure if I want to take up session time with one-on-one NPC talk, is to get to know Ront a bit, because Gesh has never really cared enough. Like, how was he imprisoned? How does he feel about Drow? Like, what was he like? What did he do back home? What would he do once he returns home? Those things.
Yeah. Sure. He'll talk to you if you pay for his next game of cards.
In
It's
fact,
2 gold. He's still down.
Gesh will not only pay for his next round, he will even give him advice how to win.
Okay. Could you roll me a d20?
All right.
A flat roll to see how good of advice that is. Terrible advice.
Wow.
You loses the money instantly.
Gee,
And
stop
Ront
rolling.
looks at you,
Leave.
narrows his eyes, and understands that you have been messing with him, and you are playing him for a fool. And so he leaves the table and is angry. because now he lost his money because of you, and so he goes to say that it's a stupid game and throws the cards and goes to polish his axe.
Great job.
All right. I mean, if he wants to be like that, but when Gash truly tries to be a friend for once, then Liam, go ahead. Whatever. We don't need to
Wonderful.
know who he is. We can
That's
we can just assume, because that's always a good thing.
right.
It's like the only case that I'm glad you rolled really badly there.
Liam will basically beat Ront. He'll at some point be like, basically laying out the case of being like, Liam has trained all day, and he is sick of the stuffy room, and he wants some refreshments. He tosses Ront like a few gold to go and get refreshments, and tells him to deliver it to this specific place near the Derek Quarter because Liam needs some fresh air. And he's gonna go there to hang out. And he wants Ron to deliver the drink to him.
He sort of sits there. You throw the money at him, and tell him to go fetch your drinks. His little beady eyes narrowing at Liam, looking him up and down, sort of his hand almost going to his chin as he stands, and like walks, doing that thing where he walks close to Liam, almost shoulder checking him.
Yeah, Liam is.
Like with like a as he goes.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Was almost
he walks past. He does fluck his hand like a knock over like someone's drink on the table to spread the.
I will catch it with
water.
Mage Hand. I can't actually. No, I'm still mute. No.
As it falls over, splashing on the cards and such.
Oh.
So he's still busy about losing. As he goes to.
Such a fucking baby.
Well, Roland, you're very good at hiding, right?
Yes.
It would be great if someone could follow him to see what exactly he does.
I do still have a potion of invisibility if someone wants to use it.
I mean, I could have it on me in case of emergency if something goes really wrong.
Yeah, Reardon can give it to you now. Sure.
Sure, in that case.
He's all the rage in the city.
Yeah, I mean, Roland can go out stalking to follow him if you want.
Sure. You do a stealth test.
All right. $28.
Okay.
Good joke. It appears that you're not seen by Ront.
I doubt I'm seen by many people over 20.
Yeah, I doubt you're seen by most. That roll.
As he goes.
The thing is, this is one of my signature skills. So.
Yeah. He is going, sort of touching the money and like chuckling to himself. As he's like almost like talking to himself a little bit. How close do you want to get?
Roland wants to be
close enough to listen to it.
I don't know if Roland actually wants to be that close, really. Just in case something happens to Ron, he doesn't necessarily want to be caught in the crossfire. So he's keeping a bit of a... Because Roland is not the best fighter by himself, let's be honest. This could go badly. So, yeah, Roland's keeping a bit... He doesn't really feel he needs to stay in earshot, necessarily. If he goes up to a shop, he'll try to get close enough then, possibly, to go hear what's going on. But for just walking through the streets, he'll keep a decent distance where he's probably not going to get seen, and at the same time, he's not going to be direct. No one should be able to assume a connection if anyone is able to see Roland.
Sure. Yeah, you're very well hidden. The giant outside doesn't even notice you.
Wow.
28 is pretty fucking good.
I mean, I rolled a 19. It's very hard.
You need a lot of passive perception to notice that guy. Yeah, you will notice that Runt is not going in the direction of the merchant's quarter, actually. He seems to be taking a bit of a stroll down the main street towards Thimberchard's cave.
What?
Okay.
Well, I might have to kill him.
He's walking, chuckling to himself, like kicks a stray dog.
Seeing the direction he's heading in, that is going to prompt Roland to try and get a little bit closer and to see if he can overhear any of the mumbling or talking, and try to kind of work out what his intentions are. Roland wants to try and do. See what his best. Try and read him.
Yeah, sure. Insight, that's a thing, right?
Yes, which is also Roland's second signature skill.
Yeah. You're good enough to get close enough to him to listen to his mumblings.
Wow,
and
that
stuff. Yeah, it's something like, show him who's big, who's a big one. Yeah, but his mumblings, it sounds like stupid orc speak. Who knows?
What's the sword's opinion currently?
Slay him.
Oh, it's not saying anything right now. It's. I mean, you can ask it stuff. Well, I guess you would be able to normally, but you can't.
I can't
now,
ask it stuff. So I was just wondering if it had a current opinion.
It's not screaming anything. You haven't lit it. You could certainly light it, but you would not be hidden with a sunlight weapon in the Dwargar city. That is it's very. They fucking hate it, and it's illegal. And
Roland does not.
Don't shine sunlight everywhere.
Roland does not plan on lighting his sword yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as long as that's not, it basically assumes that you're doing whatever you want to do. So it doesn't need its opinion.
All right.
It's mostly talkative in battle. Yeah.
Well, Roland's going to keep an eye on him then and see exactly where. Kind of keep watch. Definitely closer now, trying to figure out where he's going.
Sure.
Is he actually heading straight to Thumberchurch?
Yeah, pretty much retracing the steps of when he waited outside, seemingly. And does go to the Keepers of the Flame.
All right. Seeing him move towards there, then there's really what Roland wants to do. The problem is, what does Roland even do in that kind of situation? What does he do here?
I mean, you need to try to hear what he's saying.
I suppose because Roland really can't confront him properly because Roland can't speak even. So it's like, how do I don't even confront him at the current time either. But yeah, okay, I suppose that. And worst case scenario, I quickly stealth back and alert the others what's going on. Worst case. So yeah, Roland will try and listen in with whatever he ends up doing here.
Sure. He goes up to them and asks for someone, presumably, probably the person you've been speaking to before. Doesn't seem like he knows the name of the person. They argue a bit. They shrug, whatever, and let him into their little area.
Could Roland keep following him with that roll?
It's going to be more difficult. Does he?
Roland would like to, admittedly.
Does he? Keep following?
He'll try to.
Okay.
I didn't roll badly.
No, you did not. Not particularly badly.
Passive perception as well. I struggle there.
Yeah, you're. You can make it into the camp, though. I mean, there's a lot of light in here, and so shadows and whatnot might be a problem. But yeah, you can get close enough to see basically Ront go to the guy you remember as Garchokar Sundorn, a member of a highly established noble family in the city and leader of the current Keepers of the Flame. Ront basically goes to him and does a bowing, scribbing thing where he's. I mean, this is a stupid man way of kissing someone's ass, really.
Right.
And then he begins telling him that in his party they came here, and that he was too afraid then, but that he has information that he can sell to them for a lot of that they will very much like to have.
He's gonna tell me about
It's
it.
All right.
concerning
Yeah.
the egg. The egg was, but it was actually not broken before it cracked, and a little dragon came out, and they have it there, and they're hiding it with the other one. It was Liam's idea, the whole thing, and he threatened the others to go along with it.
All right, so Immediately, as soon as he starts realizing what's being said here, of course, Roland can do nothing to stop this. If he did, he'd be immediately captured here.
The dwarf seems halfway sort of angry and halfway skeptical, in sort of the way like, oh, if that's true, then shit's gonna go down.
But yeah, Roland, immediately upon
hearing... it can't be true, can it?
Roland, immediately upon hearing half of this, is going to immediately try to stealth back out and book it back towards the hideout as fast as, well, try not to be grabbed, but, try to get back there.
We're going. We're out of here now. Like, we can't...
Luckily, Roland can move quickly and quietly at the same time.
Yeah, he can.
I can actually dash and hide in the same turn. So, yes.
Yeah, going there, he will notice on one of the houses he moves past a drow looking over to. Basically, didn't go into the camp like he did, but has been watching Ront. Doesn't seem like it spotted him though.
I mean, that seems it's hard to spot Roland.
Yeah, but suggesting that they watch whoever comes out of that compound you live in.
All right. Yeah, with this though, Roland is going to, since he can luckily dash and stealth at the same time, he's going to do that and move through the city.
Yeah, he gets back. It's the date is pretty much gone at this point. People doing all of their different things.
Roland is going to enter into the building, and once he's inside, initially clap his hands a couple of times and look around for the nearest person as he also pull out a book from his bag and start. Actually, no, he'll try to find a stool for this.
Still be near me. I'm sure I'll realize and then ask Stool nicely.
Stool's hanging out with the others, so he's not playing again. Rumpadumby's the one doing it. They sort of look at each other, Stool sits on Rumpadum's lab, and they sort of
we are in the last
try
one
to awkwardly
help.
participate, though they don't really get the idea of card games.
Yeah, basically, he's going to try and gather everyone up and have basically Stool or Rumpadump basically unleash spores.
Yeah, you do the report spores, allow you to telepathically speak through them.
As Roland, speaking at 150 miles an hour,
yes,
is going to, in all of his lack of charisma, explain to you basically what he heard and the fact that basically he just sold us out to the Keepers of the Flame, telling them that we have the dragon.
Oh,
Liam just
crap.
massages his forehead, being like, "Oh."
Also, he's followed by Drow.
Eldith gets a little red-faced as she's somewhat embarrassed. She didn't think of that possibility.
Oh no. I think in spite of this, Riordan is just gonna laugh like a kind of a dry, like, of course kind of thing.
If he comes back and steps through that door, I'm going to kill him.
I'm thinking it's more likely we might have a Legion of Flame to arrive at.
He nods. Yes, they won't get past the giants. But he might, and he might try something too. I'm just saying, if I see him again, he's dead.
Admittedly, Roland will also inform you. He would have tried killing him if it wasn't the fact he was in another Keeper of Flame camp.
He believes him.
But, there's a limit to what you can do when you're surrounded by Keeper of the Flames.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the shrugs. We'll note that as long as we're in here, we're safe from anything, really.
Yep.
Well, that's good. But Roland does not seem calm now. He seems more than a little bit nervous.
It's bad. I would just like to leave immediately if we could, but we still need to get out of the city, and for that we need the king's permission, I believe. Yes, that was correct, Mankai.
Well, you do know that the gates at least are officially closed and that nobody opens them. You can't really climb them because it's caves, and so they're all encompassing, right? Big, massive stone gates with the stone guard keeping them closed and the lock. The water officially any boat that comes in is being watched, and you're not allowed to sail away. If you do, they'll probably pursue you. It is possible perhaps to sneak away by boat, but it would bring you back out onto the water, and Hemeth for once thinks that that's a bad idea. Beyond that, at least the boats you have are pretty broken. They were in a pretty crappy condition. He's not sure that they would make another. He doesn't want to sail on them. He would rather even given the circumstance, he thinks he would do better in the Dwergar justice system. You know, at least he wouldn't. I mean, maybe an accomplice, but that's the worst they would do to him. There's always some new openings in the Grey Ghosts, as he understands.
Yes.
Well done, Eldif. Your scheming mind and preemptive betrayal of Ront has made him betray us.
Isn't it our preemptive
He
betrayal?
raises a finger to you as you say that, and does like a, oh, you don't even pin this on me.
No, this is not even.
She thinks that is some bullshit logic,
Yep.
and that if you'd just done what
Well-
she wanted and thrown right over a cliff as soon as you got out, then this would never have happened.
Liam agrees wholeheartedly.
Well,
Yeah.
the well done, Elder, for your
I agree,
scheming.
yeah.
That is actually going to be a genuine compliment from Gesh. The rest sort of trailing off as he frowns.
She will look over and say, well, at least it happened now and not later when we have even more stuff to worry about.
Yes, the timing
Could
and
have
the
done
fact
it as
that
soon as we were out of this house with the giants, while right now we are safe.
we do have the initiative now. That is true. It was a very good move, all things considered.
Him shrugs. Besides, Thimbershot is not the only one with power in this city. And who knows, maybe Thimbershot himself, won't hear of this. He sort of looks at you.
You think
Certainly
he
the
won't?
Keepers is not the same as Thimbershot. They tend to be in different teams, I understand.
I don't think Fembershot is quite as immobile as you think. He undoubtedly has his sycophants as well.
He can
Perhaps
walk,
the
too.
occasional
How
spy.
else would he light the dragon flames?
Uh,
He's a
No,
smith, after all.
I don't know if it really matters. Either way, we have either a enemy, two enemies, or many enemies.
Nods.
let's assume the worst, shall we?
Many.
Of
Sort of
both
frown.
people
That's
and
always been the case
situations.
so far. So yes.
Basically, anyone outside of this group is absolutely an enemy, and some people in the group are also. Although
the
that
giants.
has been dramatically reduced. Now,
Not the giants. Giants are not enemies.
Wait, who's left?
It would be Hemeth, probably.
Oh right. Okay. Sorry.
Hemeth shrugs as Fargus says, if we assume the worst, then we're still in those caves, and we're just all crazy enough to believe this is reality. Looks around you.
Spirit just gives him a look.
It's got a point
Fucking
there.
Christ, man.
I had strange dreams down there.
Don't
No,
do that
no,
to
no,
me.
Fergus. There's a distinct taste to crazed visions.
Yeah,
Listen-
we have to get the
listen to
blade
Gesh.
back to the gauntlet. After all,
Yeah. We do.
she nods. Otherwise, my friends would have died in vain.
Yep.
And yours, well,
Everyone died in
some-
vain.
It looks, trailing off.
Yes.
We're just dribbling in a corner somewhere.
Anyway, we need to figure out what to do right now.
Well, we still need to go to the meeting with the king, so probably no one leave the Stone Giant compound from now on.
Not alone.
I mean,
They're
at this point, I say just don't leave, because
Yeah,
at
I
this
don't.
point, the Keeper of the Flame might be also searching for you.
We still have the Thundershot medallion, so we still have his blessing, as long as we have that. And
Even
the
if
Stone
we
Giants
don't truly have
us.
his blessing, we have his blessing.
Yes.
I think we should go talk to the king then, and then get the fuck out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
After not long after all this, the stone speaker will indeed come to the house, and sort of the stone giant will like do what they do. They take their big hammer and like thunk it once in the ground, and you hear like a everything shakes a little bit.
Yes.
And the stone speaker could kneel down and like stick his head in the door, but he doesn't.
We come out and greet the Stone Speaker.
Yeah, he looks around and he says, I hope you have had your day of rest well.
No, not quite.
He frowns. Says, were the accommodations not as you desired them?
Oh, they were more than satisfactory. The rest was questionable. But it is not your fault.
Sort of
Not your fault in
frowns.
in the slightest.
Not much of what happens in this city is any one of us ours fault, yet it concerns us nonetheless. What are these unsatisfactory results you have had?
Drow chasing us, considering us their property, and successfully finding me despite me being very much aware of the fact and doing everything in my ability to prevent them, yet I failed at that. They know we are resting here in this house, and if it weren't for your protection, we would probably at this point likely either be slaves or dead.
Yeah, the stone giant who has been here the whole time nods. Like, yeah, it seems likely.
He sees some shit.
The stone speaker looks to him and then looks back and then sort of just his big rocky face doesn't usually show much emotion, doesn't move a whole lot. Like his features are pretty stiff, but it does like give a slight frown that stays for a while. He says, "And that is all."
That is the most of it.
Also, betrayal of a party member, and and we need to get out of the city.
He nods and says, "That you do."
We have a library to find after all.
Can we go? Can we find a way out before we find the library?
We have the surface to go to. Come on, man.
Yeah, we go. Let's go there first. Just secure our route of escape, and then we
sanity.
can...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secure our sanity. I'm okay with doing that.
Stone Speaker frowns as he looks down at you and says, "No, he's not particularly a quiet man, giant." As he says, "I am sworn in fealty to the king. However, given his current lack of rulership, I must accept his lack of orders as a lack of desire for him to direct my actions. As such, should your meeting go ill," so let's trail off a little bit, says, "I will still aid you, because what you do here is more important than my life, or that of my kin."
Liam looks at him and frowns slightly and says, "I forgive me for saying so, Stone Speaker, but you have invested a considerable amount of your own prestige and resources and, well, your life in our group, and I am still not exactly sure why you are being so generous. We are not ungrateful, we are just very we're not very used to this sort of generosity down here."
Says, "You call me generous. However, I do not think of it as such. I have my own desires with what you do. You do not need to thank me. I hear the earth scream, the stones cry. I hear the rot spreading, more here than many other places. From the depths it bellows up, and all grow mad." Looks around. "You seem to have had less of it than most here. You are more sane. I can only hope that you can spread that a slight bit. Even we," he sort of looks to his giant friend, "have been affected by it. Though," he sort of pauses a little bit and says, "I would not directly suggest that the king might have been as well. I cannot help but fear that dark influences dwell here. If that is true, I am helpless to do anything about it. If his power is subverted by darkness, then this city will not stand for long. I can only imagine that its order is a blight in the face of the hatred and chaos that demonic forces would represent, and I can only imagine what a sacrifice of this scale would do for their power. My hope in bringing you to the king is that you can do something. Anything. To make it so that his power is not subverted. In doing so, I invest all I have in you, because you are frankly the only ones who have cared to hear me.
Liam frowns slightly and says, "If it is as you have told us, then one would suspect the new mistress to be the source of his inaction."
Says someone who was not sworn to her fealty as well as his might.
Well, then, all things considered, it is a good thing that we are merely looking away to the surface, meaning that none of this has to concern us, right?
He nods. It is better that some are saved than none at all.
That wasn't exactly my point.
Liam scratches the back of his neck a bit and says, I mean, I am not sure how we can save or influence the king. If our influence is as strong as you suggest, I'm not sure words would work. And if we take up arms inside his throne room, I think we're gonna die.
He frowns. The throne itself is protected by magic more powerful than you. As he looks around. More powerful than I. I could not break through it if I were to throw my full weight at it. It itself is built by ancient magical crafters. He sort of looks at you. It is of ancient make, ancient magic. I fear that it could become a well for the mist that has spread in the caves below, should a demonic influence reach it.
Well, we can certainly do our best trying to talk to him.
He has fallen into... He is looking... He sort of seems to try to phrase something as he shakes his stony head. Says he is as a bullet in heat.
Wow. What a mind picture.
She frowns. This is not what was before. Governance. No decisions have been made since the city was closed. Anything that has happened has been attempting to strike at the Darrow. I feel his mistress is angry with them.
I mean, that's understandable. Terrible people. All right.
Should the worst come to pass, return here, and my people will get you out.
Nods.
If you are taken, stay alive, and my people will get you out.
Once again, swallows. Understood. You're pretty good at staying alive, as it turns out.
She looks to Gash and says, have you looked upon the shard?
I have not yet. As it turns out, currently my own eyes refuse to work correctly. I have been using the eyes of my good friend, my familiar. I would want to wait to look upon it with my own eyes.
He nods slowly. Do you have any questions with what I could help you with as you go to meet His Majesty the King?
You know him better than anyone. In your opinion, is there any particular venue that could entice him to work with us more than others? Is there something we should avoid talking about?
He sort of frowns slightly again. He says, I knew him at least before. As for things he never liked, disorder, the breaking of the law, upholding it is his domain. He has neglected it recently. The Darrow destroy things, and there is no reprisals. Do not think of titles. He does not care for them. Do not bother with pleasantries. He is only annoyed by such things. Think of him as the leader of a mine, and you and all of the city as his workmen.
Okay.
Well, with those words of advice, I think we're as prepared as we'll ever be.
Sure. Stone Speaker will nod to the other giant, who will follow him, basically walking Stone Speaker in front, presuming you, and then the giant behind you. The other giant behind you. Like a marching order like this, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Going there.
I feel so safe.
Yeah. So do I.
Come at us, Drow.
No drow come at you.
Yeah.
The giants are massive, and their prowess is undeniably rather massive as well. Because their massive steps lead you through. Basically, they can't really fit in many of the small alleyways, and so they stick to the straight main roads. The city clearly isn't built for them. As you go to the king's own palace. Well, the hold of the Deep King, who claims to be the king of all those who dwell in the deep. Though it is an older title from a time when the Dwargar had more control than they do now of this part of the Underdark. Yeah. The hold itself, sort of as a building, is big and dark and sort of foreboding. Just lots of big, empty, sort of flat stone slabs sitting there. Great pillars rising into sort of the top of the cave, which you can't never really see because it's always full of like smog and industrial smoke. Outside, there is like two big heads, what appear to be dragons, with like lava running out of their mouths into like two holders on either side of the big doors, lighting it up in sort of a menacing sort of glow and intense heat as you get closer. Perhaps in times of trouble, these things can be used to fill the stairway leading up to the gate with magma. Around, you see a bunch of stone guard lining everything. And as in this city, generally, when you see one, there's usually like 20 hidden somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hemeth will whisper that he's heard that there's at least, at any time, 200 stone guard around the king.
We could take him.
Yeah. I think with enough fireballs.
See the turrets of the place covered in iron plating with narrow slits where crossbows can be used to shoot out. You open the gate, like is opened as the giant walks in, and in there you have basically like a zone where spears and such can be stabbed through holes of a portcullis, and it is a fortress that seems impossible to attack if you were to even try with an army or many armies. It is it's a hold that in its effectiveness is maybe even a little bit frightening. Yeah, you're brought into a big entry hall with like banners hanging on the walls. They're very simple. Seems to show one for each of the great clans in the city. Then one for the Darrow and one for the Speakers of the Flame. The Darrow one shows an icon you perhaps would recognize from the clothing of two of the Darrow you have fought so far. Specifically, the two ones who used magic seem to wield such a symbol upon them. And as you go in, and sort of Hemeth will whisper to whoever's close, really, like identify them basically. That one will be mentioned as to be the Darrow Seventh Council, the leaders of the Darrow.
So we've killed two of them. All right.
They have basically all the Darrow who know magic have to be on the council, and they scheme and do crazy things. Crazy things, I'll say. The word is that they have an invisible gate somewhere that leads to a place that only they can understand.
Wow.
Yeah, he nods. He says they're mad people.
Liam nods back. Yes, he agrees. Nothing he has seen down here suggests otherwise.
There is also a slow nodding from the mute ruler.
Yeah. As you're brought basically to another big set of like bronze doors that are opened, you can hear the sound of sizzling as first things that hit is like the big long hall of the king. It is clear that its purpose here is just to be basically a gauntlet too, if you are fighting your way to the throne.
Right.
Upon the throne, in the very distant part of the room, sort of sits what you presume is the king, a dwarf, gray skin, of course, massive long white beard, and a massive sort of fur cloak covering him, while a very impractical, massive crown of iron that would break the neck of a lesser man is upon his brow. As he sits here sternly looking down, where currently like some Duergar like has been thrown to the ground, and it's clear that he has been like whipped. As you see, the captain of the guard, or the Black Skull, is currently dealing with what you can only presume is one of the people who were in those papers you handed her. Showing what happens to people who are who are traitors to the king. They seem the Duergar seems to be in a pretty bad state. The throne room itself, you have basically the long hall, magma pouring down through basically like as fountains almost on the walls. The walls themselves are made of black basalt, sort of igneous rock. The heat is oppressive. Like you feel it sort of pressing on your lungs, and you breathe, and it's just like that you have this crackle lung from being here, and it's that, but just like worse as a sense of sulfur from all the volcanic activity just burns your nose, and almost the hairs on your head and just like curl from the heat. The ceiling is held up by massive sort of black columns that have been polished heavily and seem to be be there. Upon some of them, you see there have been nailed in nails that seem to have old blood upon them. Perhaps here the king's enemies from time to time are hung to be shown off to visitors, though none are currently there. The Iron Throne, throne of iron, I suppose I should say, to not draw the wrong image, is in the distant part of the hall, upon an obsidian dais. To the next to them, you see massive sort of gas flames burst through holes in the floor, with sort of a hissing violet flame. Illuminating the raised platform. Let's see if I can do this correctly and cut you. Where?
Hanukkah, no!
I already have enough scars.
I mean, at least we have a cleric.
We're dead.
Help!
I mean, we have a resurrection spell.
We're lost in the abyss.
For one person, choose well.
Yes. Myself. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not pasting.
We're dead.
I don't know. Now you're gone, I guess.
No.
Oh.
Can you
God damn, why
undo
would
the
you do
cut?
that? Hmm?
Can you undo what
Is
you
it
did?
on a different map? Maybe that has a thing to it?
No, it's not. It's on this one. It should work. It has worked before. Can I not put you in places you don't have vision to? Is that it? No. I don't know why that doesn't work. I guess in the future we'll just have to drag you. It just takes so goddamn long. You're all keeping backups on the library, right?
Yes.
No.
My backup is slightly out of date. It's like,
I believe mine is out of date.
I have an up-to-date.
Actually, yeah, I do have a backup.
If you do, then put them there again, and I won't cut you anymore.
Let me see if
well,
this
let me
is
see.
right.
It doesn't work.
Level...
Always back up your tokens.
Yes, I am updated.
Go where exactly?
Just put them by the giant. I'll drag you to where you need to go.
So at this point, I would be blind for another day.
I'm working on sorting out new yoga.
One,
I don't have a backup of Fingermunch. Oh, Fingermunch is dead. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it didn't take me.
Oh god.
Got worried.
It's gone forever.
The third most likely creature to betray us in the party is Fingermuncher.
Well, I mean,
Top 10, you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
he did save me from uncertain death, but did doom me to a very gloomy afterlife. So
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
There's no afterlife. What are you talking about? I mean, Riordan, was he religious anyway? Apostates don't have it
well,
great
I
in
mean,
the Forgotten Realms.
his family kind of liked Sune a lot, but they didn't behold themselves to her. They just liked her.
Yeah.
Was her.
Most people worship gods in this realm because if you don't, then you get screwed over when you die, as it turns out.
Yep. You get built into the.
Become part of a screaming wall
Yep.
surrounding the city where all the dead people are.
Yep.
It's not great.
No.
Yeah, that's a different story though.
Yeah.
That gods can be dicks.
Gods are dicks.
So let me cut you again.
Hashtag.
Wait, someone's missing.
I'm finishing it. I need to make one final edit to roll and
Alright.
repair them. So
Still a bit traumatized. So hold on a sec.
that.
Alright, I'm gonna
I'll go
replace
salty
the,
fish while I wait.
or replace the
delicious salty
Cyril
fish.
on the library with a new one. There we go.
I just built this sword this session. Now I have to rebuild it.
Oh shoot, equipment. I need to check that too.
Oh no, my notes. Oh no.
Oh, my new spell. To go.
Yeah, that's
Damn
the
it.
other thing. I had to go sort out spells and other stuff. That's the reason it took me a bit. There you go. I'm done though.
All right, it's fine. I can do retroactively.
I can tell you I have generally 3 versions of every token I ever make. For my player characters at least.
I normally keep versions on my own hard drive of my tokens, but
Why is
Ram
there a
102.
Harandor token in Out of the Abyss folder? Get out of here, man.
he's infiltrating. Don't ask how Talia has magic.
Well, you're all here now, so I'm gonna just take you away.
Just shows up. Wah!
If I
Immortals.
can I like
It's here to hang out with Thundershot.
if I copy you
He'd
and then
kill him.
paste you and then delete
Fucking
you,
fat
maybe that will work.
Slug.
You
Well,
see, I
but-
can paste you when I copy you. For some reason, I can't do it when I. Silly.
Harandor wouldn't
Cut
tolerate.
function not working. Well, there we go. Now you're all
It
gone.
is a silly place.
Tis a silly.
So where are we?
Tis us up north.
Oh my.
Behold!
Liam, turn off your light.
It's I don't have a light.
Oh.
Well, oh.
Wow, look
I
at
was
him. What a
standing in
nice
Look at
what a
him.
Central
nice
head.
man.
That
Oh, yeah.
beard, though.
Look at that. That's what I want to have.
Yes.
We do see his stats though. His
I know-
non-existent
Oh, you do?
stats.
I noticed
Like-
he's slightly.
If I put
His
my
no
cursor
HP.
over it, it's like,
yeah. There we go. It was set to the wrong token type.
there you
Yeah, I
go.
know he's slightly round.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He did not have like a table size or whatnot. He was not an object.
He's rotund.
Nothing's work.
I
Yeah.
don't think he
rotund
does
maybe.
much. Does much.
Does Deuce?
Does much.
Did-
Yeah, I don't think he
he
does
sits
much.
upon his throne, looking down upon you. With you in the room, in the very back of the hall, is the giant, and around you, you can't see, but you can hear like the sound of like armor slightly moving and such. Just the faintest. Enough to know that you certainly aren't alone with him,
Mhm.
though perhaps the illusion of privacy is here. As you look upon Horgar Steel Shadow the Fifth, Deep King of the City of Blades.
Well, Liam tries to look suitably impressed.
We're just staring at his beard.
Uh,
It is a magnificent beard.
Roland is doing his best to look respectful, but he could not say anything even if he wanted to.
I require you all to speak, or you will be flayed. It's like, oh no.
He looks down upon you, sitting there, then leaning forward a little bit, and saying, "Come closer. There's no reason to be so far down. You'll have to yell to hear me." He
We'll
looks to the
walk
gas
closer.
flames to either side, hissing in their sound.
Guess we'll walk up a level.
It's like, yeah.
You have my time and the ear of a king. Speak. What are you here for, mercenaries?
I mean, I could speak, but I'm not a good speaker.
Never mind.
I mean, if nobody is going to take the initiative, Gesh
I
can,
can't.
certainly. Yeah. So it would be up to Cyrilla or Riordan if they would like to.
I'm not very charismatic.
Round says nobody talks and everybody looks at each other like,
No, I think there wouldn't be more than a few moments passing before Gesh takes the initiative. I just want to make sure I'm not dominating these
not
talky
hogging
things.
the. Yeah. All right.
No, you're good. I'm sure that if things go to worse, I can step in.
Well, in that case, Gesh will simply say, "A king's time certainly is a very generous gift we've been given. We have but a single request as well as a question. First of all, we would, as much as we've learned to love its efficiency, leave the city. We are not from here. We wish to return to the surface."
He nods slightly. She looks at you. Says,
We
"And that is all you've come to say to me?"
Not quite, no. In addition, we are being hunted by drow who think us their property, even though we would vehemently, strongly disagree with that statement. They have gone far and would not hesitate in causing trouble in this fair city to catch us, even though they have no right to do so. Any help you could aid us in this unfair pursuit would be very much appreciated.
Have not been long in your city, Your Highness. He's not really sure of the title here, but we have seen things in the city that perhaps it would be somewhat foolish of us to presume that you would already know, but we also feel obliged to inform you of some of the things we have seen. Sort of looks over to Gesh for sort of confirmation that he's not saying something he shouldn't.
So 3 requests then. Free you, fight your enemies, and listen to your tale.
I suppose if Your Highness is not interested in our tale, then we will not force it upon you.
No, speak. I hope that it will be entertaining. Sort of leans back and has almost like a slight blush to his face, as if like he's feeling happy and mirthful, and it does not fit on his face at all. Like it seemed completely out of place.
Is he mind controlled?
Yeah, he seems a bit odd.
Do we think there's anything? Can we see if there's any way we can tell if there's anything?
Liam has a fair arcana skill. Maybe he could sort of look on the king and see if something like that might be going on to his mind.
You can try to stealthily, while someone else tells the tale.
Reardon can do that. He has he's just written a book today about it.
Can Gesh assist Liam? Perhaps providing him with his own observation via telepathy.
Sure, that's nice. Not snickering. Yeah. As this Riordan begins, we were legally captured and legally made slaves.
It is.
Could Roland
by the
possibly try
slave hunting laws of your allies, the drow.
Could Roland also try from an insight point of view, since he can't say anything anyway, just kind of like observing his reaction?
With insight, you normally can if you know the person. But though it seems weird, like it doesn't seem like this normally dour people's king should be like giggling to himself. We don't know. Maybe he's just super weird.
He's actually giggling.
Well, sort of. He doesn't actually make sound, but it's the like slight cheek blush, you know.
Wow.
Which doesn't seem.
From the silence of Roland's own head, though, I guess he'll at least roll an Arcana check then to see his own magical opinion. Not bad.
All right. Yeah. You probably both come to the same conclusion. You're somewhat magically skilled, not bad with such roles, especially in this. That you've seen this demonic influence on other people. You felt it too. The place on your neck still sometimes itches, where there was a bloody mark before.
Okay.
God damn.
This is not that influence. Definitely not the same. That seems to make you, like, the people in the caves are paranoid and crazy and see crazy things. This dwarf seems to just be somewhat euphoric, like
complacent.
Maybe even indulgent.
Hmm.
And it is not a domination or some such. It is maybe a form of madness.
Force of habit of laziness.
Something perhaps also reminds you a little bit of Thembachard and his way of behaving. as the tale goes on. How much detail do you go in? How far back?
Let's see.
In the
I was
beginning.
born.
I think I don't know. Maybe a good point is when we arrived here. Although I'm assuming he would want some sort of synopsis of how we got there in the first place. So we can give a quick, like, our captured and we escaped, but not go into too much detail about it. And
Give
then,
like spectacular details, like
You mentioned
surfing on
Demogorgon
waves.
smashing a city of Koatoa.
Yeah,
I could weave a good tale about that. I think the dramatic events he could definitely amp it up a bit, but the boring bits he just skips right over.
As you sort of tell the tale, you see, like around the feet of the throne, sort of bellowing down the steps a little bit, like it's like a purple slight bit of the mist, just sort of moving as someone moved out from behind the throne, and you see an incredibly beautiful Dwargar woman. You know, the white hair, the dark skin, the slightly bigger than human nose. Features that seem perfect, even to the elves. Like this dwarf would seem attractive, even to people who might not be attracted to the gender or the features. There is an attraction. The eyes sort of slide in that direction, and you look back to him, and then you find yourself looking at her again. Black lipstick, and just black hair, dark eyes that seem slightly too big for her, perhaps. She slowly steps out, dressed in a massive, just cloak, looked like it's made from like puppy skin or something. Looks incredibly ostentatious and soft and covers her almost entirely. Though as she steps, she sort of lets it part a little bit, and you see that out from beneath it, like a little bit of mist sort of snakes and like slithers and runs out over the floor.
Oh,
As she comes in while you're telling the tale, and sort of smiles at you seductively, laying a hand on the king's shoulder, to which he doesn't see, seems engrossed, but as she touches his shoulder, his hand sort of moves up and touches hers as well, and his eyes sort of dull over a little bit as she smiles at you.
yeah, she's a succubus.
yeah.
Can we can't attack her, sadly.
As you've gotten to the part where you get to the city, says, "Such a dreadful tale. Some sort of demon is loose in the lake, infecting the Darrow, no less. I could not imagine a more horrible thing for this city."
Well, infecting more than the Darrow, from what we have seen.
King looks up and sort of looks at you and says, "It sounds terrible." Now sort of almost like he's
Parroting.
sober and yeah. He says, "Terrible indeed. It seems that you have done great things for us in dealing with this two-headed demon." Sort of smiles.
It's not necessarily dealt with quite yet. In fact, we have reason to believe that the city is still under threat. People have gone insane in the city, and one of the giants grew a second head. We believe the...
I'm just... No, I've come to a realization. It doesn't matter. Continue.
Yes.
Go on, sheep. You've quirked my curiosity.
If anything, Gesh has telepathy.
Yeah.
Which is helpful.
I mean,
yeah, what is
all right, sure. Let's assume that Gash, while she's talking, transmits his thoughts on the matter.
Right.
I and in return, Gash are pretty sure that it's not just Demogorgon spreading madness and wanting to presumably conquer everything,
No,
but a number of different demons, including like the fungus one.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that we might just be talking to a third one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is pretty clear.
Yes.
I mean,
Considering
Which also suddenly makes sense why that crazy Taylor talked to Gesh and told Gesh to kill Fembershot, because both Fembershot and the king are under this woman's control.
Mhm.
So yeah, good. Let's get the fuck out of the city, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
There.
I don't think she's gonna let us.
Liam
Sec-
slurs a bit.
I bet-
Second, if she asks, he was so taken by her beauty that he sort of
No,
stumbled.
she
on
seems to
words.
assume.
Yeah, of course.
She smiles at him, gives him a slight wink.
More. Oh gosh. More. More people have symptoms of growths on people's necks have been visible all over the city. One of the stone giants went crazy from a head sprouting from that said, well, infection or whatever you want to call it. We have seen it a lot. We believe that something is influencing people of the city, infecting them with the second head and the madness of it. Some of it has been tracked back to the Darrow, it is true. In the caverns beneath the city, there was monoliths where the mist poured out. The Darrow sabotaging them or doing some sort of magical ritual to accelerate the mist's spread, trying to infect people with the madness and grow more heads. We can only assume that they are cultists of Demogorgon or something similar.
She nods and says, "You are so very brave to have braved the caverns below. I would not ask my own people to do such a thing. Would you, my lord?" And he just sort of parts his lips slightly, and for a moment his eyes are full of desperation before he says, "No. No, never."
Oh god.
As she smiles again.
No.
I really want to like run up there and like try
She says,
something,
Yeah, attack her, but there's no chance.
or even like lesser restoration. Just bring him back quickly for a millisecond.
"I think, now that we know where they are, and my captain reported it, though perhaps a little reluctantly," Sarah seems to think, "might have to take a look at her." She shakes her head. "We will take care of the monolith. Well care of it. However, it is as you say, this is not done with, is it?" As her eyes glint looking at you. "And we would be happy, of course, his lordship, I'm sure, would be happy, in his mercy, to grant your request, after you have done something in return." She sort of plays with the king's sort of shoulder cloak. And he just looks at you and says, "You must do something in return." She smiles. You hear like a slight rumble from behind you as a giant is clenching its fist.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "There's a council of Darrow. They are a source of destruction. You must find their place. They have a door." He says, "Don't bother with the details, dear. We will have people for that." She pats his shoulder. "It is, as my lord says, however, naturally. His will is all I live for." He smiles. "We need to find the door to the Darrow Council. As you say, they surely are all cultists of Demogorgon, and with runes of sealing, we can close their door. Save the city from this terrible influence. You would be heroes, and welcome to stay for longer should you desire it. The Drow, I'm sure we can discuss this with them. I would not brag, but I'm very good at making up." She smiles.
Liam sort of twitches a little bit. He's not happy with this.
"Should you do this for us, we will even go so far as to offer you mounts that can carry you quickly through the deep darkness beyond, on whatever fetching quest I'm sure you have ahead of you."
Oh, that's not a bad bad reward. Get like a cave lizard or something.
They're never gonna give us that. Come now.
I mean, it would be nice given the Drow also have those.
Mm-hmm.
He moves a finger to touch her lip. All you have to do is help save the innocent people of this precious city. As the king nods and just mumbles, "Save the precious city." She looks to you.
All my perceptions are now fuzzied. I'm not sure if the Darrow are actually insane or not. I'm so confused.
Oh, they are.
I think both. I think personally both are insane, and it's just one insane faction trying to beat the other.
I mean,
Yeah.
the question is it madness or constructive insanity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I think
there's a
Are they
good and a bad
constructively
side.
Yeah. Are they good or bad?
I mean, we could of course just charge her and try to take her out in one round.
No.
We might have a round before the
In
guards attack.
around 200 guards that are completely invisible.
So
we're dead.
my suggestion and Gash's in turn here as well, transmitted to Liam via uneavesdroppable telepathy. Except we will find that door, which wouldn't even be a lie, because I think we have to talk to the Darrow. If it's a my enemy's enemy is my friend sort of situation.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
But are they able to be reasoned with that all?
Worst
We
worst
don't
case,
know.
they are following like another demon lord and are really completely crazy. Best case, they are just sort of. Some of them are crazy. Maybe
They're
they
just
are
oddballs.
crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe they are just oddballs. Being crazy is not as bad as people make it out to be.
I mean, they tried to give a second heads. That turn is insane.
That might have just been some of the members of the Darrow. Not
I feel
all.
like Gesh's ideology is affecting you, sheep.
No, but I've got we can't be in cahoots with this succubus who is ruling.
You
The
know
Deep
what?
King.
She's the nicest demon we have met.
That is true.
All succubus
If it
are.
comes to two heads and this woman, I would go for this woman.
Yeah,
I sadly have
But
to
she'll just
agree.
eat
admittedly,
your soul.
between a demigorgon and a succubus, I would stick with the succubus.
Man.
I mean, let's be
At least
like we're just
at least have a good time with the succubus.
Yeah, but they're not gonna
Yeah,
let
a
us get
demigorgon will
away.
destroy everything.
Come now.
A demigorgon will destroy everything. A succubus is just going to try and manipulate everything.
Yeah, but we're good. Isn't?
I mean, I'd rather neither. Like, I
They're
would
never
rather
gonna
neither.
let us get away. Never.
I
It's not
think
gonna
she
happen.
will.
Really? She's gonna let the people that are actively trying to fight this darkness, including herself. She's gonna let that happen.
Right now, we haven't said that we are actively fighting the darkness. We are saying we are trying to save the city, and she's playing on that, manipulating us to,
But we are aware of what she's doing. So
Of course,
she is
though,
aware.
as characters, we're still infatuated with her, so of course we're gonna agree with her.
I mean, she
We
has
might
mind
have our
control.
inklings.
She
Yeah,
hasn't
just-
done
You
anything, right?
you know that you're weirdly attracted to this dwarven woman, which might be a weird feeling for your character.
I mean, admittedly, in Roland's case, I imagine that's slightly less because one of his natural flaws is he takes a long time to trust anyone.
And Liam falling for a dwarf, much less a dwergar, it's just
Yeah.
this is not something he normally
Well,
experiences.
it's not like romantic. It's very raw.
It's just a magnetism. Raw
Yeah.
magnetism.
Like it's not even like necessarily physical attraction. It's just like magnetic attraction. Like you can't
Yeah.
look away. You can't not pay attention to her words or notice the small gestures she constantly does. She just is the center of the room.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I think whether we want to or not, we agree. Obviously, we'll help you. How could we not?
Well,
Obviously.
yeah, we're gonna help. I mean,
And then we can still change our minds once we're out of this room.
He smiles.
I think we need to talk to the giants anyway.
Dear, perhaps. He sort of looks to the back of the room. Now that they have given their consent, we should ask our dear vassal to do the same. The king's eyes move up to you and beyond. Says,
Uh-oh.
"You, stone speaker, old friend, you must." She squeezes his shoulder. Says, "Follow her orders as if they were mine." He breathes out heavily. "She is, after all, my mistress." And
Should
she
we just attack her?
smiles wickedly.
Promise, I'm almost imagining there's probably like dweller like right here.
I mean, do we have
Slightly.
dispel magic?
No,
Slightly parting
I have it.
her blackened lips.
You
it's a
could.
bad idea.
You could throw dispel magic on him.
Yeah,
And
but
get
I'm
us all
pretty
killed.
sure that if she is of the power that she is, it's higher than a third level spell.
I mean, we were also told the area up there is like protected by powerful magics and stuff, and we don't know if our magic will even reach.
Yeah. I mean, dispel magic is good, but I don't think against this level of manipulation it's going to work that well. And it's just going to kind of reveal us to be bad. And we're going to die.
I mean, the option here is to try to break it. We might get lucky and do, and he'll be like, "What is this?" And like, "Caesar," and we will get handsomely rewarded. The other one
Or-
is that it fails and we get imprisoned, but the stone speaker has said that he will get us out.
But
Somehow.
now he has ordered him to follow her words, so that's never going to happen.
Like the thing is though that he's obviously mind controlled. Like at some point you're like, that's not him anymore. That's not him. That's not the same person I swore fealty to.
Maybe.
Well, technically, dispel magic in this edition can dispel any level, but the DC is 10 plus the spell's level. Technically.
Right. So if I just
I
get a
mean,
high enough check. But
I think what's going to happen that even if we dispel whatever illusion she might be hiding, she can still just order everyone to kill us regardless.
Dispel the king. That his mind control breaks.
Roland
And then
does hear in his mind a voice say, "Throw me!"
I mean,
This witch and her master are nothing. We must stand against darkness when we
I
fight
mean,
it.
I suppose if I technically throw him, I can teleport him. Wait, can I? No, I can't do that. It's like there's something you could do. It's like-
Man,
It is not compelling you in any way, though.
No, but it is a
It's
temptation.
expressing a desire.
I really want to. I really do. But I feel like the moment we do it, we're dead.
I think we should try to get the Darrow on our side. I don't think they are nearly as insane as people are making out to be, and if this woman hates them, we need to love them.
I can give
Literally.
it a go.
I can't agree with love, but I can agree with potentially mutual beneficial.
I mean, maybe the Darrow has something like, yes, give this to her, and she will be like, oh, what is this? And they're like, oh no, my spells aren't done. Maybe.
I mean, if you
We
want
have
to go...
brought you gifts of these enchanted jewels.
Man.
If you want to go the route of throwing a dispel magic, I mean...
Yeah, but you
I
gotta...
have inspiration, I have a few things I can throw into it, but the risk is very high.
It is, yeah. You'd have to
It's
hit...
Incredibly high.
I just don't want
Like
to
a
go down
20
into
above.
the. I just don't want to go down into the like fog caverns again. Find a stupid door.
No, neither do I. I really don't want to go in there. But then, what kind of level spell would this even be? Like,
I mean,
know.
if it's like, what's the
So,
max level spell?
The question is she the demon? In which case, anything we do here is a
No
bad idea,
way.
or is she just a pawn? In which case, we have a chance.
She's a succubus.
she's
That's
just
what I
yeah,
believe.
she's just gonna be yeah.
She's not a demon prince like in the flesh here because I don't think reality could take it.
Yeah, no, I think.
Okay,
we'd have
so
bigger issues
so
in that
how about
case.
this then?
You have seen a demon prince.
Oh,
If
goodness.
that is what
Wasn't
Gesh
nice.
thinks, at least. They might be able to hide themselves. However, remember what happened last time you gazed directly upon one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did go all crazy. That's true.
It is a magnitude of potency that it is.
Okay, how
You know,
about this?
Not easy to hide.
so tempted to do it. Like,
Since we're so very torn about this situation, let's do some rule of cool maybe. What would make for a good story going forward?
Riordan dispelling
what
the king.
does each of your individual characters do?
Cyrilla has a burning urge to go up there and try and protect the king from this clearly evil creature that is just twisting and corrupting his mind. It's not cool. We can't do that alone.
I mean, what I can do is that I can get up there and cast like protection from evil and good or something on. That would give him an immediate saving throw with advantage against whatever she's doing.
Or charm that she's put on him.
Yeah.
Yes. And he cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead. And she's a fiend. That would like lock him out.
With that, I could also bless him, give him an extra D4 to his saving throws. And Riordan could also dispel him to try and get rid of it.
I think the initiation would be that dispel, because if that works, we don't need anything.
Yeah.
As in, everything else would follow from that.
You know, I think we should do it then. Gash is not the kind of character who would like do a heroic
I bet Manakai is
of
just
faith,
looking
but-
at like the adventure path and going, well, this is all
You know-
gone. I don't know what's happening now.
Manakai is a good DM. Manakai is a good DM. Let's believe in that.
If any DM is going to be able to do it, like, yeah. All right, let's do it.
All right, so
We'll do it like this then.
the intention to do this, where does it come from? Who? I'm assuming Gesh is telling everybody stuff, but we can't really.
Now, Gash isn't talking to everyone. He's basically just conversing with Liam a bit, giving his observations. He would not be the one to be like, yeah, we should totally. Oh God. No.
Cyrilla.
Liam is like, we need to do something. Like we can't let this.
Cyrilla's agreeing with Liam.
control him.
Like, come on, we can't just.
All right.
We can't let him sit and fester in this. You know.
Well, in that case, if Liam answers to Gash that he really thinks we should do something, Gash can at least sort of be the hive mind so we can coordinate.
Should we request as we set out as his mercenaries on this fantastic quest, could we perhaps request a small boon from him before we go? Could we actually go up to a little bit closer to him, perhaps to pay fealty more, closer to his person, or even have him,
like bless us. Like
bless us by like touching it. Yeah, exactly. By like putting his hand on our forehead or something.
I came up with another amusing idea. It's also a bit interesting. The idea is actually acting upon like the infatuation and basically like saying, "Can we come closer to see you?"
Oh yes, we can. We can be like, "Oh, you are the most beautiful."
Yes.
Could we have this amazing boon, your ladyship, to just get a little closer to get to something?
Even with how perfect Liam thinks he is, she's better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and he just wants to see her a little bit closer, if it was possible at all. He has never seen anything so beautiful in his life, which is true.
So what does someone say?
So I get close.
You have
When I'm
to.
close, you hit him with the spell magic, and then immediately after I cast
Alright.
Protection from Evil and Good on him.
Okay. I don't like this, but okay.
Looking at the throne, Manakai, does it seem that the throne would protect him from this?
The throne itself, there's nothing visible between you. It certainly is just, he's sitting on a big, fancy chair made of iron. Big, like, statues next to him. The gaslit flames brightly burning.
Perhaps we could ask him to come down to us, to like touch our heads and give us his blessing.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, that's what
suggested
I
first.
think. Would you come give us your blessing for our adventures ahead? In your great service.
Maybe Gash should be the one to request this.
Yes,
Sure.
I think Guess should be.
suppressing the urge to roll his eyes at this insane plan.
Oh no!
Do it.
What are we doing?
Go with
Do
it.
what's right, damn it!
So going past the planning phase, Gesh will say to the king, of course we will accept such a honorable quest. The Darrow are obviously insane and must be found, but we are a superstitious folk, I'm afraid, and would like one little boon to set us on our task. Would you come down from your throne and touch our heads to bestow us your blessing?
The touch of a king has fantastical properties to our people.
He turns slightly in his seat, as if to move, as you can see her fingers close softly on his shoulder, leaning him back. He says, His lordship would love to give you such a boon, perhaps even a feast, once you have succeeded, and he can finally relax. The stress of the situation makes his nerves on edge. He just smiles. I'm sure you understand. As he looks back to you and just says, nerves, fear.
I mean no offense against your beautiful mistress, my king, but it would mean a lot to us, and it did seem like you were already willing to grant us this request.
He sort of looks to Gesh, meeting his eyes, giving him just an infatuating smile. She steps a little bit closer. Could you do a saving throw?
What
Wisdom
kind?
saving throw against charm effects?
That'd be a charisma.
Good thing I'm...
It's a wisdom saving. Yeah.
Okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no.
Gish just sort of forgets what he was talking about and has an intense need to make her happy. Could you do a charisma saving throw?
Am I going to go mad again?
No.
No.
Gesh.
Oh.
No.
No. No. As he just breathes in a little bit, the mist billowing slowly down from the throne, just sort of swirling around him. But the rest of you basically see their eyes meet, and she focuses on him for a moment, just maybe breaking her character a little bit, as he maybe just. I mean, how does Getz react? You tell us.
Well, I'm assuming that since he failed the wisdom save, the supernatural.
Wait a second. No, that doesn't work. She looks into his eyes, but he doesn't see anything.
He's blind, yeah.
But perhaps for a moment, he understands what could have happened.
Finger Muncher is absolutely in love.
Yes.
He's like saying
Told you it was great.
telepathically.
She's not looking at Finger
yes,
Muncher.
yes.
Oh.
She's looking at
But,
you that you can't
yeah.
see.
And she doesn't know, because you're acting as if you can.
Oh my god.
As she
Have a chance,
smiles,
Gesh.
I'm sure that won't be necessary.
Oh, but it is.
But yes.
Well, a bit of a Hail Mary here, but we are drawing at straws. Gesh will have Finger Muncher turn around a little bit so he can spot the stone giant behind him, the stone speaker, without actually physically turning around himself. And will basically telepathically relay something along the lines of, we need the king off his throne. We have a plan. You want him saved. We want him saved. Can you help us in any way here?
Well, he can't answer.
No, but
His
might...
rocky eyes look upon Finger Muncher, and his strong rocky legs sort of move slightly as he edges closer, his eyes moving to the burning gas.
Oh, that's an idea.
Mm.
Oh,
So we can get him off his throne by setting it on fire.
it works.
Blow up the
That's
gas.
surely what he means.
Don't,
I mean, that's my spontaneous first thought.
Why doesn't everyone have telepathy? Yeah, but she smiles and says, "Will that be all, my lords?"
What does she mean though? What about
I
the
don't
flames?
understand what he means. Can I like roll a check to see maybe Gash is smarter
Sure,
than I am?
insight him, if you
Oh
will.
god.
All right, Gash is
He's
terrible
probably
at that.
trying to
This
be very
moment.
obvious.
Oh wow.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Oh.
Jesus, man.
Turns out that he is terrible at conveying his emotional feelings because he's made of rock. However, his look to the flames are the same sort of looks as you would have if you were thinking, well, I guess I'm cutting off my fingers now.
Oh no. Oh, he's gonna put his hands in like the
No.
fires, isn't he? Oh, he's gonna burn himself so the king will just get up.
Okay, that's a good plan.
It'll be
Gash likes that.
spontaneous. Oh my god, and I love it.
Alright.
He
No.
slowly prepares himself to move.
Alright.
Oh god, I hate that he has to do this, but he has to.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry, Stone Speaker.
Go. If it's
If you die, I can
don't
revive you.
half-ass. Go. We'll go full out here, I guess.
Yes.
And see what he can do
fucking
for
do
us.
this. Let's
Yes.
fucking do this.
Let's fucking
boy.
go.
So is Gash giving some sort of signal to people, or what's the?
Uh,
Someone standing there like shaking their head, like no. Like 1, 2.
Guys, what are you doing?
I
Now
guess
we have discussed some of this before we got here, surely. Like, being
I
like,
guess
there
Gash
is
will-
some sort of sign that we can like.
I mean, Gash can just tell you that he thinks that Stone Speaker has an idea, and you should probably be ready for something.
Alright.
It's probably going to be bad, but we need to save people apparently because this guy deserves
That'd be
it
great.
for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're very, very whimsical in your judgments, but let's put that aside for now.
I just rather save a king that has. I don't know. I'd like to save him because I don't like her. And I don't want to go into a Darrow hunting quest for her because I'm done with those people.
This could like this.
yeah,
Ugh.
I tend to agree with
Whatever
you.
you
It's not a
push
roll.
the speaker
I don't
to
like
doing, it might be somewhat of a point of no return.
Yes.
In as of yet, I would like a confirming. Yes, this is what's happening now, and yes, we're going to do something now. When you're done discussing and
Okay.
sure, and
like a actual
Like from all
yes,
of us,
we are ready
like
for
a-
all.
well, just from whoever does something, really. Like Gash is the one currently who has the power to give the go, right? But someone could
All right,
move.
so she might.
Because
be
there's this. This is basically a frozen instant, right, where she has just said, "Would that be all, my
Okay, now-
lords?"
So-
You are just about to be, get
The
on your way
Get
and
on the way.
briefed for the mission.
The
that you're
alternative
about to set
then
out upon.
would be that we do her quest. We talk to the Darrow. Maybe they have some insight into her, although I don't think so. I think they're crazy. But then when we come back, maybe she is correct. Maybe he will throw a feast and get off his throne, and then we can do it.
I mean,
Not just
the-
less dramatic
Total
fashion.
our plan
bullshit.
doesn't change regardless of what happens. Like this sequence of events is going to happen regardless. So we could
And
do this
she-
and come back,
she
or we
knows-
could do this
she-
now.
She knows that Gash was up to no good with that suggestion and tried to change his mind, which she couldn't.
Does she
doesn't
know that though?
No, she
You're
believes
pretending
that
otherwise.
She seemed to have noticed and said that, hey, this doesn't work.
No, that was Manikai.
That was okay.
Yeah?
She
Yeah.
doesn't seem to know.
As long
currently.
as you act the part,
Okay.
she thinks you've been affected.
Yeah. Gesh knows that what she tried to do didn't work,
Okay.
because that's how mind controlling stuff works.
If they attempt and fail, you know what the consequences would have been.
Well, my opinion on this course of action that we're currently planning is Gesh wouldn't be the kind of character who would do it willingly, but he'll go along with it, and I think we should do whatever makes for a good story. If it backfires terribly, then, we'll go out in a huge blaze of glory full of gas flames.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
And basically,
think
I'm
this-
willing to literally throw the stone speaker into the fire.
The best case scenario, as I can see it, is we lose the stone speaker, which I think is fine, because
if
he
we
sort
get
of
out,
already gave Gesh
Well,
what
yeah,
Gesh needed.
He's also already
And best
said
case,
that no
best
matter
case, we get the eternal gratitude of the fucking king of the city, which is going to give us such a huge advantage.
what. Yeah.
or we die. So
Worst case, we just die.
Yeah, worst case we die.
I'm
But
just saying at the start of the session we were talking about let's count the worst option, and now you're counting the best option.
yeah, we're counting
That's a
on the
step
best.
forward, right?
Yeah. Optimism,
Yeah.
not pessimism.
it's optimistic pessimism.
I mean, I'm
Nihilistic
go-
optimism.
for this entire thing, I'm just going to wash my hands in innocence here. Gesh is not the instigator; he's just the enabler.
I think it's
you are a
definitely
very good enabler.
like it's definitely like Liam and Cyrilla pushing the we have to do something. Like
I'm actually. The thing is, Roland hasn't been able to even try to give subtle things to aid here. I just imagine he's looking at the other's expression and with a perplexed and slightly horrified with his insight of what he's seeing.
everyone's
you know,
tightening up a
there's
little
someone
bit.
who can communicate with him and
Oh,
who
yes.
can feel what he feels, and inside his mind he might hear something like, "Roland, I'm not your father, but I'm sure your father did tell you that someday you will stand for the choice that's going to define you as a man. That someday you will have a choice that if you do not step up, you will always ask yourself, what if I had?" Stuff like that, basically.
Very
Yes.
heroic.
Giving you a dad like speech.
When you can stand with
A
your
warm
friends and
smile.
allies, or you can turn your back upon them.
Wow.
Whoa,
Strong
fucking
stuff.
harsh, bro.
Acting with conviction in the face of evil is what defines us as good men.
Well, if you guys start this, Roland's locked in now because he just also played upon one of Roland's traits of never abandoning his friends.
Yep.
So, what does Riordan think?
He feels
Standing with the deciding vote.
he feels like he has been herded from multiple directions into a corner, and right now he feels close to just exploding out. He wants to. He's just so confused at like all this stupidly bad stuff that's happening to him. And it's completely out of his league, and everybody else here is way more adept at dealing with it than he is. But he needs to do something, or else I don't know. He might just run up and attack her if he doesn't do something in a sec.
I mean, it seems like half the people are ready to do that, and the other half would ready to leave. So, unless something is decided, maybe everything will break and split. And
Oh dear.
I don't know.
I'm good. I'm good to go.
I'm good to go as well, but as a player, I'm certainly wavering a little bit. I mean, they can play
Yes.
it is very risky, but it's also
I think I've been swayed by sheep on the argument of what would make the story cool.
okay. Sure, I'll take it. Let's go.
So
No,
It's one hell of a way to end a campaign, though. Come on.
yes.
so who
I
does?
believe I'm waiting for the stone speaker to do something, and then I can.
Gesh
Spring
can
it.
give him the signal to start whatever thing he has in mind, because
Yes.
we need to kick this off somehow, and we don't have the
Yes.
ability to do it. If the throne protects him, we need to get him off it, and apparently Stonespeaker has an idea.
Or someone just goes,
So what does
No.
Gesh do or say? Or
Well, he'll say to the Stonespeaker telepathically, if you have an idea to get the king off his throne, act. We are ready. We can do the rest from there, hopefully. I will not guarantee anything, I will not even go so far as to promise anything, but we are willing.
We will try our best.
We will do our best.
Face turns to like a slight frown, looking at Gash, looking at the flame. Then he looks to the king. Slight bit of sorrow, perhaps. And then, like a only Gesh can really see it, because the others, of course, looking very attentive, like nodding. Yes, we're listening.
Yes,
I'm not hearing another person talk in my mind. As the Stone Speaker takes a step forward, and I suppose at that point we would do a quick initiative, because things are going to happen somewhat rapidly in succession here. And it's easier to deal with if...
Yes. I also have to mention, because I didn't realize this until now, but my Jack of all trades applies to initiative as well, so I get a +1 on that. I don't know how you're going to manage to do that, because I've only just checked that now.
I believe you have an initiative mod somewhere on here.
Let's have a look.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to do
Wow,
what I do,
Gash is so ready.
which is roll some
Serena's
dice.
so ready.
We have the surprise at least.
Yeah, we should have
Yeah,
at least a surprise round.
Actually, I can program into your macro if you want, Riordan, that it gives you a +1 initiative.
That would be quite nice if you don't mind.
1 second.
Those are terrible rolls.
Done.
I guess I'm not clicking you because Riordan is doing stuff, but I will once.
I'll try.
Unless you want to do it yourself, guys.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
We did.
What? No, it's fine. You two of you.
I'm still on 13th age mode.
How do I roll? I don't even know how to roll initiative on.
Oh wait,
It's
how
in
do
the
I...
campaign
Click the
macros.
button. I select you. Click the button.
I've never done it before.
There we go.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
roll for you. Roll. There we go.
Okay.
All right. One person does get to act first, which is what kicks this whole thing off.
Yes.
Which perhaps surprises everyone somewhat, as people sort of expect stuff, but yeah, because basically the Stone Speaker doesn't say anything, but you hear like the sudden just sort of step off of hard rock against rocky floor as a boom, 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 slight quakes in the hall as the giant, and not a small giant at that, a pretty damn big giant, moves up and just like grimaces and throws himself upon the fire, pressing his chest against the hole where the flame comes up, and then begins screaming in burning pain as you can see his back like glow with the heat.
Oh God.
However, as the flame sort of explodes upon him and it is stopped from entering the room, you see a shimmer that has surrounded the throne, sort of in this layer here and to the ceiling. A wall, perhaps, that was being disrupted slightly.
That's a cue.
The roar and the scream echoes. Now, Liam is a player character, and Thais I'm giving to player characters. So, what does he do?
Well, in this split second, does it look like the good king is actually getting up or doing anything of the sort?
So far, he is still surprised and like,
Yes.
yeah, he hasn't acted yet.
You don't figure out what
Him and his concubine act at the same time.
Okay. Well, I would much rather that Riordan hit him with the dispel first, but
Yes.
I don't know if we have the time.
I mean, we
Wait,
need to
because
get him off his throne first,
Yes.
right? Can Liam rush up and maybe just try to grab him off the throne?
You are within 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the distance.
You can move an act.
Someone else might have something that is 30 feet range and thereby have put you there. It's worth considering. So yes, you could, if you have 30 feet movement, you can move up to the throne. You feel a resistance as you pass the now slightly visible barrier, but it's more like a hard shove, basically. As you hear like a vroom, as it like smacks at you.
Liam will rush up there and try to grab hold of the king to pull him off the throne and out of the field.
All right. Well, for that, you can make an attack roll with advantage.
Okay.
Because he is currently not acted.
27.
27.
27, you say. That
Fucking
certainly does hit. Does it hit his versus like getting pulled around though? That's a good question. His big dwarven plate
Oh.
covering much of his
27
body,
is
making him
pretty
heavy and hard to pull. But 27 can't get out of that one.
Then Liam will drag him out of the field, basically, and off the throne.
There.
Yep.
Can't get him all the way out since you're still like in it. But he is out of the throne now at least, and she's sort of holding her grip, follows stumbling forward.
Okay.
If I could suggest, maybe we could use Eldif's shoving, like.
Shove.
Oh, yeah. I would
Oh,
shove him.
yeah. Can I use
Shove
can
him.
I use her to shove him even further down?
Extra 10
It'll
foot.
be her pleasure.
It will be
It'd be great.
great.
As she has come up with you, I suppose,
Yep.
and choose to shield bash Orger Steel Shadow.
Yeah. Basically, what I imagine is like
That's
she
all.
throws like Liam throws himself at the mistress, and she throws herself at the king to push him off. You know, basically separating them, throwing him off the thing.
Yes.
Down there. Liam will be like contending with the mistress, trying to hold her back. That's gonna go terribly, but he's like, Riordan, do it!
Yeah,
Do
around
it!
you, by the way, you hear the because now all these guys act. You hear the mobilization of the room
Yep.
as mumbled words and the size of like 100 people growing large and plated boots upon the floor as they basically cover the bottom of this place, and you see the stone speaker open his mouth as bloody sores begin appearing as spears and hammers crush his legs and what's still at the bottom of this dais. While they come for the rest of you. Next turn, you can consider this area down here completely filled with guards.
Okay.
I will put them there so that you have the reference.
You have to do it, Riordan.
I
You have to do it.
Not a guard.
No.
Do it.
You must.
We are sacrificing everything for this fucking gambit.
They make a phalanx, in fact,
Oh, boy.
which is their special ability.
Hi.
This is the end game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you are threatened.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel it. He feels it.
Wait, that's actually not right. There we go.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh god, so many of them.
There's 100. So.
That is how they can reach up.
Only 100 of
Because
them.
they're massive, large, as they have.
No,
Who
there's at least 200, isn't there? Supposedly.
That is outside. Yeah.
Oh, okay. God.
Yeah. All these guys will react on Steel Shadow's next turn.
Okay.
Riordan.
Okay. So, seeing all of this going on.
Oh, wait, I forgot her.
Oh, yes. Oh, shit. Oh, no.
As she right now screams like, "Guards! Traitor!" as she tries to catch Liam's eye.
No. He's looking away. He doesn't want to.
As he says, "The king is in danger! Save him!" And will attempt to command him to save the king from
Oh, shoot.
your friends. You have advantage as this roll because she's commanding you to do something you would not normally do.
Okay.
It's a wisdom save.
Worst save.
Mm,
Mind controlling the fighter. That's how it starts.
that's oh.
Yes. Next turn, you will spend your action saving the king from your former allies. As you can describe what the others see.
Actually, I have an inspiration, so I might take a reroll here.
Okay, the reroll with without advantage, but we get to roll another die.
Oh.
A 13 will still not do it.
I actually have an idea here.
Fuck.
Yes.
Something relevant now or later?
No, later on my turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I suppose the others see Liam. I don't know what do they see in his eyes?
He
as he turns to them?
he just struggles, and then you clearly see him desperately trying to keep on to his sanity and will here, but simply just failing and then turning around. Very robotic in his movement.
Looking at you, perhaps with dull eyes.
Yep.
Well, Riordan.
Yes. Well,
Dispel the king.
seen all this manic stuff happen. He still has his book of Chronicle open in front of him, one hand as he was reading. He just snaps it shut in one hand, points at the king. And normally when he's casting magic, he kind of sings it, but it's more like a strangled scream of arcane magic. As he casts the spell magic on the king, targeting whatever charm
You
the
fire
scepter says
yourself?
upon him. Yes, I will use my inspiration to give advantage.
And
on this.
inspiration? You don't need to do that because Jimja bets you can do it.
Okay.
I bet this melts by magical work.
Okay. Okay. So, spell casting attack roll. I wonder if the macro does it for me. Let's see. No, it doesn't. So I'm gonna have to make one.
Just roll a
Make an
d20.
ability check using your spellcasting ability, your charisma.
Yeah. So use charisma. So just use any of my charisma skills. That's fine.
You have maybe
no skill bonus to it.
no proficiency? No?
I mean, no. I mean, what does it say?
It's
And immediately
An ability check. using
make
your
an
spells.
ability check.
Yeah, use your charisma.
So just your D20 plus your charisma, right?
all right. Sure.
Twice.
Do you get
taking
proficiency to
half.
ability checks?
I don't know.
Let's
in
look
this
at the wording
particular
for
case, I don't know.
proficiency. Because I'm sure there's probably a particular wording for it, isn't there?
It's kind of relevant, you know.
It is relevant.
To the handbook.
Well, stop by rolling. It might not matter.
Yeah, sure. So charisma's 3, so D20 plus 3 then? Let's see.
A crit.
Well,
Yes!
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 doesn't matter.
My god.
Yes!
Well,
Yes! Yes!
So Riordan,
Yes!
So Riordan, you just technically just spelled a level 13 spell.
all right. Well, I
Not
can
even
tell you,
Elminster can stop you.
It is. You know, not a trivial thing you're doing here,
No.
and you would probably have a very hard time succeeding with something like this ordinarily. Another question is: does this spell provoke?
No. Casting
No.
these spells do not provoke.
Okay. Okay. I did believe it's only when you target a ranged target that's not the target you're engaged with.
It doesn't provoke at all. Spellcasting never provokes in this game.
No, man, all these
It's
20
it's
D20
the ranged
systems.
attack that provokes, right? Not the
Yeah.
spellcasting itself.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
bow provokes.
Yeah.
When you shoot at someone who's not in front of you.
Any
or
at-
also someone.
yeah. Any
Or
attack.
And it is not an attack spell.
It's
That's the
an
thing.
ability.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's
It's
just a
it is something that's important to clear up.
Yeah.
Sure. And you're targeting the spell and not him. and that matters too.
Well, the magical effect that's upon him,
you
basically.
you remove a magical thing that was upon him. Yeah. He's still laying on the ground, like knocked to the floor by the shield bashed down from his throne. Being thrown, the giant scream, making it hard to hear anything as the soldiers clatter up as he begins to go up while Liam is standing there looking down upon you with menacing eyes. You were successful in that. And the magical spell upon him has been dispelled. It might not be the only thing upon him, but
Okay.
yeah, you got this far at least.
Okay.
Still-
Seeing that Liam is so visibly affected by whatever thing the succubus is doing, he will cry out to him and tell him to pull himself together and try and aspire to pull back whatever's clawing at his mind, basically. It'll give him Barding Inspiration die. I don't know if like whatever he has saving throws every turn or whatever's happening to him, but I think
So just a thing here. It says any spell of 3rd level or lower target ends, and anything higher than that you need to do the roll we just did.
yes.
But you do it for each spell of 4th level or higher on the target. Make an ability check using your spellcasting ability.
He had
Oh.
one.
He targeted
one.
a spell though.
He had a spell,
Yeah.
and it is gone.
Okay.
And it was certainly not a buff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Charm
Okay.
is a condition. Yes.
So yes.
I might be able
We'll
to
give
deal
him
with.
die.
If you have protection from good and evil, that certainly helps me.
Well, lesser restoration will
I
remove
have
one
Yes,
an
of
idea
those.
as well.
Well, you have the inspiration as Riordan plays music as he can feel the massive figures with their giant it's basically short swords they have with their massive shields, Roman style.
Yes.
It's still big blade, like they're about the size of him now that they're big.
Oh no.
Hold on,
Right.
you can sneak attack the king right now.
End it all.
I don't honestly know what the best option here is for me to do. Part of me's thinking just dodge.
I mean, the king needs to be what?
Anything you can do to stop the mistress or fuck her up in any way, to stop her from recasting things on the king.
Well, I think if the effect was charm and he recovered for it, he can't be affected by it again for a while. I think that's how the condition goes.
Do I go affected by bright light?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can light the
big
sword.
Yeah.
Good.
You could light Dawnbringer, yes.
Oh my god,
Does
that'd
not
be
affect the king
hilarious.
as well, though. Or
Yeah.
Might
But
just
they
surprise
hate
them
it, don't
enough
they?
to be like, just.
The point is, if they don't like bright light, it's going to affect them. That will at least give us a better chance if nothing happens.
sure.
Could at least give them disadvantage on attacking us.
As Roland will conjure forth the power of the sun.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Dawnbringer!
Dawnbringer screams something like "Back to the shadow!" as it just shines bright light that burns the eyes of those who are denizens of the darkness. The soldiers sort of squinting like, "Ah!" and suddenly making Roland the main target.
Good work.
I can't remember. Does that normally give the stone god? Does that normally give the god disadvantage? Or
Now
Yeah.
you dodge.
Yes.
so I'm kind of thinking that maybe now Roland should use the dodge action.
Click this button for you.
Okay, he has
Yes.
disadvantage on attack rolls anyway, so
That is what happens when you.
there's no
get-
point in me
when
giving
you
them
get
more
bright light.
disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay.
Then again, actually,
Can
that
you-
only affects the creatures in my immediate bright light. Wouldn't affect anyone trying to range attack me, would it?
They don't.
No.
Can you stab the mistress?
I mean, I could stab the mistress. But I provoke now though because activating the sword was a quick action, so I provoke
Right.
to get to her. And I don't have my range spells at the moment because it turns out I'm currently, well, you know.
Right.
All
I
right.
guess for now I'm just going to. I guess for now, just in case I get range attacks thrown at me, because I'm now being the beacon of light. Dodge.
Help!
Okay, I'm looking forward to this because Gesh has an idea.
Oh God.
Liam is mind controlled, but you know who else can mind control?
Oh
Gesh is going to cast suggestion on Liam,
Uh-huh.
suggesting that he protect his friends.
Oh.
And if you make the save, I'll hate you.
I
You
probably
have-
have disadvantage on this save because I really want to protect my friends, right?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
So
Oh.
DC 15.
Okay.
It's a battle of
Charisma?
mind control, everyone.
You're like double 20.
It's pretty tough. It's a pretty
What's
tough
the-
check for Liam.
Wisdom saving throw. Okay,
Wisdom,
with
of course.
disadvantage. I'll take it. Yes.
6.
Oh god.
All right. I
You want to
believe
follow the suggestion?
in this case, with 2 like charm spells active, it comes down to a opposed charisma check between the 2 people with the charm effects. They don't just override each other.
Yeah. Okay. Could do that.
Okay.
See whose mind control is stronger. That's a mean roll already.
That's pretty good.
Charisma. I guess I'll just roll something weird like. Oh no, that has my proficiency on that.
What about your? I suppose
What was
yeah,
it?
charisma save wouldn't even.
Just roll a die and yeah.
Yeah, just do 20 plus
I mean,
your
I
charisma.
have a +5. That's what I wanted to know. Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty damn good.
It is pretty good. And it is. Let's see here.
Damn, the battle of mind control.
Why am
Does
I,
she
am I just
have-
terrible at counting? They can't be. Yeah, I'm just terrible at counting. Yeah, you beat her.
All right.
All right.
Good. Also, good to know she does not have 26 charisma.
Yes.
Yes, I was thinking of it. Does she have 26 charisma? Oh no.
22.
22.
All right.
Wow.
I can't get away from being threatened. However, I would like to hide behind Cyrilla.
But behind
this
Cyrilla
still-
is a
Well,
bookie thing.
hopefully the king will simply get up his fucking ass and be like, "Stop!" on
Yeah.
onto
You know-
everything, you know.
Doesn't
Yeah,
he need
stop
help
that.
though?
You know if it means anything, Gesh? Technically, your one also has disadvantage because bright light.
That's true. All right. I guess we'll find out what happens. Gesh is done.
Yeah.
That's when you find out there was no. She isn't the second person. It's just.
Cyrilla's going to actually prepare an action for
Okay.
if the king does not stop all of these guards, and or the succubus isn't stopped, she would like to cast a beacon of hope.
Yes.
All right.
Because I think advantage on wisdom saving throws would be a very good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking at him, it's clear that his mind is still addled, though not by an active spell. If that makes sense to you.
In a medicinal kind of way.
In a madness-induced kind of way.
Ah, shoot. Maybe we should restore him instead.
Well, actually, yeah. If that's the case.
Yeah.
Oh god, but
Blanking
she
on
would
it.
like she would,
Restoration.
yeah. But getting to him
Well,
should
Liam can
provoke
threaten
so
her, though,
much.
right?
No, I am not. I'm
Well,
protecting
on the
Oh.
bright side, if you do provoke, so you're provoked twice doing that, right?
I mean,
They are,
these 2 guys would basically get attacks.
they are at disadvantage.
That's probably fine. You're pretty damn tanky, all things considered.
You are pretty tanky. They
yeah.
have disadvantage. You have to try.
I'll give it a go. Whoop.
All right, you get to try to stab you.
Yeah,
Disadvantage?
19.
that hits.
Okay.
And
That misses.
That's
All
not
right,
too
9
bad.
damage. I can cope with 9 damage. That's fine. And then
Restoration?
yeah, I'm gonna cast lesser restoration.
Can you up it a level?
It
Cast it on
doesn't
high
do
levels.
anything. I don't
Doesn't
think.
do anything.
Yeah, it just uses the spell slot, so no, I'll just use my second level spell. So either a disease
Clear your
or
mind.
condition is removed.
It also works to temporarily, I think, abate
Cure
the
madness.
effects of madness.
I don't
It doesn't
know.
get rid of it,
It
but
might be.
it's
Yeah, it
stops
leaves the
it.
effect as we've proven before.
yeah, it's
Yes.
a band-aid.
I would say it's more like painkillers, but
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it work?
He's
This
looking through the
restoration
list.
can rid short-term or long-term madness. Let's hope he doesn't have indefinite.
These are deep. It only targets like debuffs though, which is a good thing.
You can, with lesser restoration, suppress it.
Suppress it
That's what we're
will
looking for.
do.
So it's all we need at the moment.
It will come back in like an hour, 10 minutes between that sort of time.
I just cast it again.
But yeah, you do it, and you restore the mind of the king for a moment, for a while.
It'll do for us to be able to let him do something, hopefully.
protect your friend.
Yes. Liam
Yes.
will protect his friend by attacking the vile succubus.
You are inspired.
Yes. I will use this. While I use this, Liam will scream out. And he will scream towards Horgar Steel Shadow. And what he will say or shout is, Deep King Steel Shadow, your city is under attack. Your mind is under attack. All the law, all the order you have tried to build is under siege. This vile creature has seduced you, twisted your mind. Only you can stop this madness. We are holding her back, but you must stop the madness. And then he will attack the succubus with Fang. Trying his best here.
You mean Shal, the Dwergar princess?
Yes, of course.
We're all trying our best. I think we've done admirably so far.
I used Bardic Inspiration on the 14 there.
D8. 3.
12? Possible. She doesn't have like armor and insane dex.
17.
17 does hit.
17?
Okay.
That is 16 damage.
You strike,
plus 2, so
strike
Oh,
her
yeah,
skin.
that's 2 attacks.
It have some resistance to it.
it is a magical sword.
Yeah, it is, but you do cut through it with that high roll.
18. 18 damage.
Is she an object by any chance?
She's been objectified. Maybe. That counts.
That's a commentary. All right, yeah. She screams more as blood, sizzlingly hot, sprays from her body.
She's a demon, Your Majesty.
Yeah. The Stone Speaker's screams have ended as his body sort of, the center of it has turned to ash.
Oh.
And you can see like his skin on his back is, the flame is right below it, soon to be restored to its full height. His sacrifice winning you 2 rounds of time. As the king stands.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's eyes turn to him.
Yes, you can do it.
Everyone in the room squinting.
Yeah, Cyrilla like knelt down just to touch him for the spell and is looking up at him now. Okay, will he?
Liam is hacking at the succubus.
Yeah.
Liam dueling up there by the throne.
Yep.
Yeah. The king's hands close around his weapon that fell with him. The magical gauntlets he wears closing around his warhammer. As he just smashes it into the floor, and the guards stand at attention, like easily stepping a step back. Basically using the same gesture for attention as the stone speaker would use with his people. Hammer to the floor. As Horgor Steel Shadow looks up at Liam and says simple words in "Take her alive."
All right.
Cut out her eyes.
Yes.
So.
Get her, boys!
Get her alive.
Her eyes suddenly full of doubt.
I don't want to end up like
confusion.
killing her somehow by accident. So
You can choose an attack that would kill. You can choose to knock them out.
Okay.
That's-
Well, let me think here. I think this is a good opportunity to use what I have. So Reardon's gonna hex her. He's not concentrating on anything, so he's gonna hex her, and he's going to target
Her charisma, maybe.
who's.
Would that help? Would that stop her? Like,
I think.
No, it only makes her
It only-
charisma saves weaker then.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so whatever saves, so either I mean, I guess wisdom or strength, I suppose. I don't know which to choose though.
Yeah, you got any spells you want to throw at her?
Yeah, I was gonna
No, I need to keep my concentration on Liam, otherwise he'll
Okay.
do weird
okay,
things.
I'll,
Probably.
I'll choose wisdom.
The other thing only lasted for a round. He's fine.
Oh, he's fine. Okay. I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
choose-
just to be sure, I think I should keep him mind controlled.
It's a nice feeling, you know.
Yeah.
I've got
Serve Gesh. Oh,
the nice thing about my beacon
Seems
of
so
hope
clear now.
is that it's not just like 4 people. Anyone within range, anyone within 30
I mean-
feet
Okay.
will get my wisdom save bonus.
In
so.
that case, if you could target wisdom, then I can
will.
help person her.
Well, I'm gonna try something after that, and if that doesn't work, you can try that too. Oh wait, no, it's concentration too. I can't do that. Yeah, so I'll hex her, and I'll target her wisdom, and I guess he will just blast her.
sure.
So do this with 2 rays this time. Oh, my macro. Oh shoot, yeah, because my token died. I guess I could just do it again for the second one. One sec. Here you go.
Terrible damage.
What's that? That
Look at the
damage
d6
is...
if they hit.
That is terrible damage. But it, well, I mean, the first one hits.
Oh, roll extra damage for Hex. Ah, 8.
8, you say. Very well. All right, rolling.
Was Gesh planning on hold personing?
Yep.
I'll wait until after Gesh.
All right. Gesh, feeling that the mind control on Liam has ran its course, will stop its own voluntarily and cast Hold Person, targeting her and her only, even though he could target 2 people.
Looking again at
Alright.
Liam.
Well, he will have a confirmation to himself that she's not a humanoid, and as such, is not touched by his magic.
Well, that's a bother, but that's a good information. Well, in that case, since no concentration is required on that, he will hex her dex. Just
the dex.
because.
Hex the Dax.
Sure.
Actually, I can't because I'm out of spell slots. Never mind that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rolling, that is.
Roland is going to go ahead and now with the speed he can, rush up the stairs towards her. Dawnbringer in hand.
Tries to catch your eye.
Can you do that in the middle of my turn?
No.
Yeah, because Roland's going to try avoid avoiding that. He's gonna try those slashing into her. That is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrible.
That's weird.
That's a 1 and a 3. I suppose offhand, also a failure.
Nope.
Wow.
None of those do anything.
Why do you have 2 attacks with Dawnbreaker?
It automatically gives me 2 attacks.
Yeah, at level 5 you just have 2 attacks.
No, you don't.
I don't.
Rogues never has. Only fighters have 2 attacks, and paladins, rangers.
Rangers definitely do too.
Yeah, all bad classes have, but no one else ever.
It just automatically gave me 2 attacks.
Huh.
Rogue has only 1 attack ever.
Well, let's
Maybe
check
there's
that
some
later.
fine print. Yeah.
I'll check that right now.
Well, regardless, apparently I roll a fury of 1s, 2s, and 3s.
You sure did.
Cirilla.
Cirilla, shortcast Beacon of Hope to count everyone within 30 feet of her except the succubus.
Alright.
Presumed succubus.
Presumed.
The princess of.
Let's make sure the king is included in that, by the way.
Yeah, I said
Yes.
everybody within 30 foot. And he's right next
Even
to
the
her.
guards.
So, yes, even the guards that were
Can
within 30 foot.
you? Can you summon Simi?
Yes, I can.
That will end Beacon of Hope, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Yep, because
Oh,
it-
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, sadly.
Good oak.
And Beacon of Hope gives us saving throws bonus
Yes.
advantages. So, you know. And yeah, I think that'll be me.
Will cast protection from evil and good on himself to make it so he cannot be charmed by this creature. Because he didn't like that one bit. When that is done, he will action surge. And
He also breaks Gesh's charm.
Right, that's
well,
already gone.
He ended
I
that.
should not protect my friends anymore.
I'll do it of my own choice.
Exactly. Yeah, he will action surge and then hack at her.
Right.
To kill her.
She certainly seems to realize that he's not winning this and going for her end game.
20 probably hits.
Yep, it does.
14 damage.
All right. She is certainly crippled and bloody, and as such, her shape and form just like falls, and you see, like as it does, basically she stands up, having been small and in the form of a dwarf, and now you see this impossibly beautiful demonic creature here instead. Slightly sort of dark skin, semi-tall, very androgynous looking.
Oh no.
As it just looks to Roland and unleashes its full potential, making him take a wisdom save.
I have advantage.
With
You
advantage.
do.
Do it. Do you have inspiration too in case?
Its words. This is. I suppose I might as well enjoy what I can.
Wow.
An 8. Okay.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
don't particularly feel like being mind controlled here.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go ahead and spend my inspiration to get a reroll.
All right.
I suppose you
So
don't
again,
even really
on
need
a
it if
single
it's a-
die.
Yeah, no advantage on this one.
I mean, it's
Well,
still an
it
extra
would
dice roll.
because
Yeah.
It
Don't
would
you get
because it's
advantage?
it's Vange's and
yeah.
A reroll is just a die.
Yeah, one
Oh,
dice, that's
okay.
all we'll get.
Oh, okay.
It's
No,
better.
much better.
Better.
No. So you become incredibly infatuated with this
Oh god.
this demonic entity who moves in and places her lips upon yours.
No.
Would you give me a Constitution save?
Yeah. Also, by the way, charm condition. Constitution save. Not my best. Damn it, being an elf.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Fuck.
That is not what you were looking for. As you can feel your life force being drained out of your body.
Well, it's a good thing we've got Revivify, huh?
Gotta protect you now.
I should have had advantage
You
anyway.
take 36 points of psychic damage.
Oh gosh.
That is a lot of damage.
Straight down.
Yeah.
That is straight
One
down.
moment. One moment.
And then
You can spend your reaction to half the damage, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking. Can I use my uncanny dodge on this?
You can't if it's the attack that hits you, or if it's the damage. I think you can.
Yeah, I'm checking what the wording is right now.
When an attacker
be
that you
nice.
can see hits you
Uncanny
with an
dodge. When an
attack.
attacker hits you with an attack, you can half the damage.
she's not hitting you. She's kissing you gently, and you want it.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess
shit.
you failed the saving
It's
throw,
not.
which is a different thing.
Isn't it a spell though that she's doing?
It's not an
no,
attack.
she's literally just kissing you.
Oh.
Yeah.
The spell was to charm.
Oh.
Shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Could you do a charisma save? Though it is just a formality at this point, because the damage is so high that as you are taking psychic damage from a true servant of a demon lord.
Oh.
Probably a 15. Because charm, maybe.
Yeah. Let me just do this
Right.
here. Now you get the fancy table.
Oh, the madness table, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying my little dialogues inside these boxes.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm loving them.
All right. So you have ascended to gain something that does not give you a madness level. However, it gives you an indefinite.
Oh no.
As basically this kiss influences you, because this is not just a succubus. This is a succubus blessed by a demon lord. Guess which one? And it leaves an imprint of that blessing upon you as it touches your mind with psychic damage. And that is something that might come up in the future too. Yeah. So, why is that a 1? That's weird.
I don't like ones.
You are now affected by that indefinitely.
Oh my.
Oh.
Shit.
I mean, that also makes sense in this situation, I suppose.
Very hedonistic.
As she basically just licks her lips as Roland's unconscious body falls down, his eyes rolling back in his head, and grins at it's sort of a mad grin because of all the blood dripping from her, as the demonic creature looks to Cyrilla and makes eyes basically.
Bring it.
Then I mean, yeah. At that point, the king attacks.
Okay.
He has his trusty hammer with him, and he is not to be ignored. He misses though.
Oh wow.
Doesn't manage to hit. As he comes up and swings it. As she then steps aside and just looks back and does a hand motion as the guards each take out a javelin.
Yes.
She is then unconscious as too many pierce her body in many very unpleasant ways. Her eyes laying upon Cyrilla as she falls down, almost as if she felt great draining Roland's life force, and she's still feeling great even as she's basically dying.
Could I just bring Roland back to life in the minute that Beacon of Hope is still going? Because, oh my god, the maximum healing will be so wonderful.
Oh yes.
Well, you are a Beacon of Hope right now.
Yeah.
And he is laying there on the ground right now, so...
So, yeah, I'm gonna,
You can probably, like, if any of you have, like, a split-second thing you want to do... He's on the ground, like, out, basically.
I'm gonna cure wounds, Roland with a 2nd level slot. Don't know, that probably doesn't maximize it, no. So it would
Save it.
be 16.
Save another lesser restoration for the king. That's what I'm saying, so we can talk to
Oh,
him a
yeah,
bit
got
more.
plenty of that. So it'd be 22.
Wow.
'Cause
Yay.
Is that
maximized.
any healing from any source?
Any
like, even
healing
me?
from any source is maximized. It's
I can
so good.
hop one on too if he wants one. What
I
is
wouldn't
it?
mind, but
Sure. Where's
I'm down 11 health. Which is...
level 2, so would be 16 plus
I mean,
3.
Sounds
19? I
The
mean,
king gestures to the body for the guards and says, "Send her to a deep cell." As he then looks to you. At this point, the shimmering wall comes up again. So I suppose Riordan and Gesh are stuck down there, while the rest of you are stuck with the king inside the throne, as the body of the stone giant has burned through.
Leah will sheath his sword.
Roland wants to stop the radiance from glowing.
Mr. Horgar looks at you with a deep frown as she looks over and says, "And bring me a servant of the flame, best one you can get."
oh no.
He's gonna fix the throne problem.
He goes to the throne and
Give him some room.
touches something behind it.
Yeah.
After which says, "Now, please," as he gestures for you, probably go down to the level below.
Sure.
As he
Sure,
ascends it and sits down and just takes his hand to his head.
Liam will say, Your Majesty, there are several things that you need to know before whatever madness has gripped you will return. Lady Cirilla has...
I am not returning to that realm. That I can guarantee you. This city is not without its magic.
He nods. The duration might only be 10 minutes to an hour, King. It's imperative that you get meat quickly.
It's like a patient that does not want to be helped.
Yeah. No, I think he's getting his own
Looks over to
people
the
to
guards.
help.
Bring me a healer. As they move about, slightly confused. He looks at you and then looks to the stone speaker, and his face sort of grows cold and hard.
Liam is silent for a moment, and then he'll say, the stone speaker enlisted our help in trying to save you. He knew that something was wrong, and we had to try something. It was a desperate move, but it seemed to have paid off. He cared for you in this city very much. Sort of looks at him. He gave himself willingly for this. Sort of trails off, because Liam is honestly sad that the good stone speaker is dead. He was nice.
Very solemn right now.
King nods, even as his face is cold, and says, "There will be blood paid for him. Rest assured."
Liam nods. Again. He says, this is, although much has happened in a very short time, Your Majesty, our mission does remain the same.
He
I believe.
holds up his hand. "I remember what you said, though I was different. You have done me a great service. I would repay that as it should be repaid. Consider yourself guests in my home." Just a sense out. "When you leave this place, should you still desire to, you will go with gifts.
Nods. A bow to the king. It feels warranted.
There are a couple more specific requests we could make then, considering the situation, of course.
Mhm.
The drow who are following and harassing us, it would be very convenient if they were to be told to leave, or something more permanent. I do not know how you wish to handle any of this.
He leans back slightly and says, "These drow are our allies. I would not wish to insult them. However, you cannot be considered slaves by my people, and so you will not be delivered to them. I will not destroy them, but I will not let them do anything to you in my lands."
That is very good. We are also missing equipment that would help us on our way to the surface.
He said he'd give us gifts.
I'm just making sure he
Jesus,
doesn't
man.
just give us useless stuff.
You're like suddenly like, oh, we saved you. Give us everything.
Oh yeah. Well,
There will be time for this. For now, I have important things to do.
of course.
It's
When would you presume to leave? Or would you rather stay? You've proven yourself. I could find place for mercenaries such as yourselves.
I believe the amount of time we can stay in the city depends on your relation to the Keepers of the Flame and the Dragon Fembershot.
Hemeth sort of looks at you like, yeah,
No?
could, yeah.
As in, like, not great, or?
No, as in, yeah, I kind of would have. This sounds great.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
good.
yeah.
Good.
Cirilla's like, oh, we could do so much as a royal guest. It'd be lovely. It'd be
I love being a royal guest.
The slaves, they're content me.
Yes. No, there's no slaves in nobility. What are you talking about?
There's just loyal servants.
Yes.
As it turns out, there's something we have that both of those groups would like to have, but it will be impossible for us to give it to them. We would like to not be bothered by them.
Francis, and what would that be?
Oh.
It is a... Guess frowns a bit.
You've done it now.
It's a dragon.
Yeah.
Use your big mouth.
Yep.
You can't lie.
I mean, to keep saying.
You know,
stuff,
honesty is sometimes a good thing, as Gesh will say. Down below the city, there was a ritual performed by a few crazed Darrow, which included the egg of a dragon. Now, we have reported that this egg was destroyed in the process. So, trails off.
Sure, you can connect the dots.
He looks at you. He doesn't seem to be someone who likes playing around or acting coy.
To put it bluntly, the wormling did survive. We would not wish to have fate forced upon this little creature, hence we have taken it under our protection.
Oh.
He sort of looks at you. He nods slightly to himself. Says, "Is there anything else?"
Well, let's see here. We explained about the ritual. We explained the pillars and the smoke.
Jaw was sorted.
Yeah. Whatever he can do to stem the flow of mist, really, is
We
probably
have
a good thing.
Temperchad wanting something in 3 days, right?
Yeah, but
Oh, fuck him.
But that can be like we're gone by then, hopefully.
Now, even then, we have the king on our side now.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
Tempershot can't do anything against the king.
Roland would like to request a healer, but he can't, so...
I will heal you.
You can
later,
write
my
it down.
baby, don't worry.
Yes.
If he says that he will reward us with gifts and fantastical things, and then send us on our ways, and we can stay here for a little bit of time to rest up, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
Maybe have a proper bath for the first time in.
As we slowly die
Swear.
to crack a lung.
It's probably not as. It's probably nicer in here, right? And out on
Well,
the streets.
not exactly.
No.
Actually, the gas smoke and the sulfuric, and all the ash from. Remember, there's further in the hall. There's magma running down the walls.
Right.
It is not a great place for anybody who is not.
I'm not gonna sleep here on the floor, right? We probably have a guest chamber somewhere.
Oh yeah,
That's not
it's gonna
filled
be
with
like
lava.
a nice soft bed, and like
Yes.
lava too as a nightlight.
Oh no!
Oh, like a
No.
lava lamp, except
It's an actual lava lamp.
we're inside it.
Yeah.
Oh, the heat of 1,000 suns warms me as I drift to sleep.
But yeah, you are offered guest rooms, and how quickly do you want to leave? How urgent is your task? You're welcome to stay here should you desire it. He would maybe even make use of you in destroying the Darrow savants and ending whatever threat of these monsters and fiends are in his city.
When
I
you
think-
Grind the dungeon forever.
I think we should leave.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Once we start being useless, whether he likes us or not, he will find a use for us.
Yeah.
That seems to be the person he is. So maybe 2 days, 1 day, and then we just leave.
He insists
sure he
at
wants
least
to get to this.
one day where in the evening there will be a feast.
Okay,
That-
You know, that
perfect.
sounds good.
That's reasonable.
Can
that
go with
sounds
our feast.
perfectly fine.
And-
Reardon wants a feast. He
As a
wants
little
some food.
requirement, the wormling should be an official guest there. You know,
Honorary.
the secret is out.
Sheep-
He gets to eat.
Sheep,
Sheep,
don't
sheep.
push this. Don't.
Stop it.
I am
Stop.
pushing this. I am
No.
pushing.
No.
So do you say that?
That would no, listen, sheep.
No.
That would,
All right,
that
no,
would
no.
officially, that would
Okay,
officially
You'll
paint
kill
a
us.
huge target on all of us.
we'll take some of the scraps to go.
There we go.
Okay, good.
Get like a doggy bag.
Dragon
We're
bag.
still teetering on the edge of a cliff here.
We don't need the whole city to know that.
Basically, you will be taken away, and you can consider yourself to heal, and basically before you need to fight again, you can fully rest because the things that are in the street that want to get you, they can't get you here. They can't touch you.
Long rest.
In a meeting later, you will be told that it seems that the king does believe there is extensive infestation in his city. And he does not like it one bit, though he doesn't exactly know what to do about it. Because all the smart people who would know seem to be affected.
Great.
Oh yeah, before I forget, Gesh will tell the king that he is pretty sure that Fembershot is affected by the same thing that the king has had.
Yes, it seems likely. He has become more indolent.
Yep.
Fat.
The worm.
Yeah, I don't think I can get a 20 again, guys.
No, it's fine. We're not gonna save Thundershaw. That's for
No.
No, Steel Shadow does not believe you're going to save Thundershot.
I bet it doesn't.
No.
But we
A new wormsmith would be optimal.
Well, you'll have to find a
Should
new
you
one.
choose to part with the creature, he will not
Uh-huh.
take it from you. He's done enough that he will regrettably let you take it as part of your gifts. Should you part with it, he will offer you something special from
Once
his
it
person.
Once it comes to proper sentience and can speak for itself, it may decide to accept the offer, in which case we will not stand in its way.
what is this special thing?
You're welcome to stay here
But what-
until then.
What's the special thing?
That will unfortunately take a little while.
It will be an heirloom he has on him.
Oh,
If it arrives in the future to accept this position, that might
In
happen.
return for the wormsmith, he would offer his gloves, his gauntlets, that make it so that any king No matter what their physique might be, they can wield the great warhammer of the king.
I'm taking it. It's mine.
This is
Feeling it.
this is like the gloves of Cromfair, like the legendary hammer of kings.
man.
But that is what he will offer in return for it.
Oh, sheep! That's a pretty good offer.
Man.
Man.
No, if the wormling himself decides to live a life of indulgence and meaningless luxury, as I have put it in my little talk to him that Gesh will repeat every morning, then it may do
The
so.
king does not believe the new wormsmith will live in luxury. That is not how he intends to do this. Wormsmith will
Might
have
be a little
purpose
more of a
place.
sort of servitude situation then, which makes it a little less likely that the wormling will accept by himself.
Okay. Alright. As a character, Cirilla wouldn't want to do it to the poor little
I
worm.
don't think after all we've done to actually get, like, to keep him
Keep him?
alive, I don't think
Yeah,
we're just going to go, you know, gauntlets.
It's
Here.
I agree. At this point, we have sacrificed so much for this thing that now we might as well die with it. You know?
Yes. And we nearly did, but somehow we didn't.
Yes.
I'm still so confused right now.
That 20 was clutch. Clutch crit.
I'm amazed.
Everyone, please take a moment to just think back
just
and imagine
appreciate
if he rolled a
that.
1 instead.
Just appreciate that.
I would die.
Sorry, technically you had advantage. So imagine he rolled
The
2
thing is, with that natural 20, there's no spell that can resist it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
It
what
just-
kind of
it's done.
monstrous thing made it.
Yes. Although, Dark, if I rolled a 1, I can re-roll that.
You know,
I do have
just
lucky.
break
Why don't you roll 3 1s?
Oh, I'd be ashamed and probably leave forever.
That has happened, I believe.
5 times. Yes,
Yes.
Jones. I know.
My record I've seen is one of my names 4 times so far.
there's a helicopter that crashed once too.
Yes, that was a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good
I
one.
heard,
14
about
dice,
that.
That was
That was
That wasn't quite the same, but it was pretty close.
it was 16 something dies. It was
Wow.
Was
incredible.
14, 50% chances.
Yep, and not a single one.
Drove yourself to utter insanity and you still died.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
yeah.
well.
Bearden has a story now.
If you will take the wormling as your gift, he will give you mounts, a riding gecko each. That is
Okay.
trained to listen to your commands in common.
We just get a fucking gecko. God damn it.
Could perhaps a full plate be made?
Should you wish to stay longer, that might be a possibility.
How long?
Yeah, how long for that?
It would take about like a week.
No, we don't have that long. We'd have to deal with Temurjot, and that's not what we want.
No,
don't
I don't
really-
think we have to worry about Tempershot.
Yeah.
If we're
I
on
don't-
Not anymore.
he can't really get here.
Full plate is pretty good,
In
guys.
that time, you can aid him with some of the things he needs to do around the city.
I mean, helping him out will increase like the amount of presence he has, which would help us if we had more problems. But I don't know.
We'd get stuck in a vicious cycle of repeatedly helping him.
Yes, that's the thing. He will come to, like, he probably won't give us this offer again if we continue helping him. It'll be, too good for him to let us go. I don't really trust him completely to just be generous for this long.
No.
So I think we should just take what we can get and go.
Beyond that, he will, when on the day you leave, you will have a feast, and they will see you, escort you to the gate, and send you off with your mounts and the gifts that he will hand to you
God damn it.
during the feast.
All right. Maybe we should do that then.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, our next place to go is Blightonstone, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
Is there
in that
anything- yeah.
case, given what he knows, you say that there are 2 general ways to Blightonstone. There's the caravan route, which is currently not very favorable due to it having been taken over by, like, fire giants and
Oh.
closed.
Oh.
Fire giants don't sound great.
No, they have come from another part of the Underdark, and they act very strangely and erratically. But it is a reason that no caravans have gone back and forth for a while. Other than that, there's the longer route, which will take you close to the lair and the grove of Netherblight.
Mm.
Where the big,
We had
We had a thing to do there too.
exist.
Yeah, we had a thing. Someone said that is the route we should take, I believe.
To go there, you will have to go past, follow the edge of the labyrinth, which is a massive structure that can take you further down into the deep darkness.
Oh,
They say never to enter it, ever. It's a,
that's
That's
just-
my
No,
brother
Gash.
might be
No.
curious.
No, Gash.
it
Absolutely
is
not.
infested with gnolls
Libraries.
and
Th-
No.
that is the
Yeah.
point
mad
where-
hunters.
Listen
It's a
to me.
labyrinth with
If
labyrinths inside of
you
it.
It will
gonna-
take you to a level into the deeper Underdark, where even the Dwelgar have not gone.
Oh god.
That's
But
a scary
follow
place.
that, follow the edge of that, and you shall soon find ways that go downwards, and where you see the fungal growth.
All right.
All right.
The
So, like,
Myconids are generally friendly enough to travelers, though they rarely are able to really understand how travelers and how foreigners work. They don't get stuff.
We've got two of our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have two.
So
People can help us.
basically, if you go the long way, Netherblight is like a kind of a in the middle way on the way to Blydenstone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're basically going around the trade route. The trade
Sure.
route going down to the low and sort of slightly along the edge of the water. It passes through 2 drow outposts, which have been taken over by fire giants.
Right. I think the long way is
Yeah.
fine. We do
Yeah.
need to go to both of those places, so it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
Right.
That's our
Sure.
plan.
And he does believe you're right. That should you reach Blydenstone, the gnomes will surely know a way to the surface.
Oh,
Alright.
thank God. Oh,
We have a ray of hope,
oh.
Yay!
born from
Some
Crit.
could say a beacon.
Now
Yes.
he will go and get his mind looked at.
Yes, please.
And
We all need our
and
mind
you
looked at
will be sent to your rooms.
I don't suppose he has like someone who can actually cast like true restoration on us to get rid of some stuff that we have.
I mean, if they're looking
Got
at
some
him, can
high
they look at
power
us as
level-
well?
high power spells, man.
Yeah, but you know we're honored guests, and
Like true
We'll
restoration.
see what he can do. If that is basically, his gifts are expensive, and if you have a request, he will listen to it.
because get our madness clock reset might not be the worst thing that can happen to us.
I mean, Roland and you have indefinite madness right now, right?
Yes.
So that needs to be addressed
Oh,
immediately.
actually,
And
greater
also Gesh.
restoration.
I think Gesh is the one that needs to be.
I mean,
focused.
some call it madness, others call it character.
Insight.
Well, mine wears off, I think, after this next nap.
But
so,
you still have
I'm
a
done.
tick. That's the thing.
do.
We're always building up more and more of this, and we've got to be down here longer.
But does a
but-
greater restoration remove that?
I don't know.
Well, let me check again. I believe it said.
Undoes 1 affliction.
Does it?
It says here for curing madness using spells. Depending on the source of madness, a greater restoration spell or more powerful magic is required to rid a character of indefinite madness.
Greater
Oh,
restoration.
but then what about?
Which is 5th level.
But that's indefinite madness. What about
It
just long-term
says
madness?
calm emotions can suppress the effects of madness, while a lesser restoration spell can rid a character of a short-term or long-term madness.
But does that remove the tick? That can remove the
Probably
effect of it.
not. No, it removes
Well,
the effect. It isn't.
Yeah, that's the,
ticks
thing.
ticks keep counting up.
They can
Regardless
never
of
be
the
reset.
restoration. Okay.
Restoration to get rid of the effect of a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I can survive my quirk. It's not the worst.
Pick one. That you
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
actually
would
makes it
like
the
to
best.
get rid of
I don't-
Gash.
I don't think we can survive Gesh's quirk. If he's gonna like
Gesh's?
betray us He
Oh, yeah.
doesn't
I mean-
I
trust
will. I
us.
will say that Roland was perhaps lucky with the one he got from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are some really nasty ones in there. for
It
the
just made him
specific
hedonistic
ones.
when there could have been a lot worse things.
I think
I mean,
lucky is just
yeah.
the word to describe that
It's a lot of
entire
things.
encounter.
Also,
So
for Gash's madness, it isn't so much that he will betray you, it is that he thinks you will betray him.
Yeah.
Also, shall I just note, by the way, that was the only way I was lucky in that counter, given I rolled one, well, over 1, a 2, and a 4.
Yeah, I think that this is a fine place to stop. Next time we will
Yes.
probably pick up with a feast and some gifts, and then seeing you off.
All right.
Does that sound workable to you? Is there any more things you want to do before then? Sounds like you kind of wanted to get out before you get into more trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're done with City Blades. I would really, really like a full plate, but maybe we can find that somewhere else.
But
We'll
you're
get
too
it somewhere.
perfect for armor.
You know?
The armor isn't
She's
I'm
worth
going
it.
little
bare
abs and
chested
armor.
into
Yeah,
battle now.
it's just oh!
My sweat is my armor.
My manly sweat is perfect,
Yes.
just like my abs.
It's the only way. The only way.
All right.
If only I were a barbarian.
It's true. If only. Alright.
Alrighty.
What a session.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Next week I don't think I can make the Saturday.
We moved it to Friday.
We've moved it.
Oh,
Moved it to Friday. We
okay,
hope that would be better for you.
sure.
Yeah.
It changes literally nothing for the rest of it.
Friday
We
next
just
week.
play a different.
Sure.
We
Is
don't,
that
just don't
we-
play anything.
We
on
will
Saturday.
be doing. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with that.
Because I had to basically skip a weekend. That's no one wants that.
I mean,
Yeah.
which would you rather? Would,
No, that's-
would Friday
that's
work for you?
No, Friday is perfect. I just got a bit confused. That's fine.
Okay.
It's been a long day. I'm tired.
It's okay. We can all.
Yeah,
breathe.
Friday's fine.
Alright.
All right.
That's
Well.
cool.
So next week there will be Out of the Abyss on Friday, and on Sunday, right?
Mhm. Sunday.
We are starting up a new thing, which is Starfinder.
Space.
Space. We're going to space.
Space.
I have a pistol. And I
Nice.
think Malachi has a pike, and
No space about it. It's just a pike.
just a pike, basically, yes.
It's analog. There's no electronics.
Nothing fancy about it.
And we are going to travel the stars and do amazing things.
It's gonna be great.
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
stop
great.
the stream.
DMing is the only way that salty fish last for like 5 hours.
Yes, yes, it's very true.
Thank you
You
guys.
all get 920 experience per character for the encounter and for saving the king from his madness.
Nice. That means that we are a little over halfway.
You now have 7,743.
Do we get
6,200.
experience for killing the stone speaker too?
That is not.
You don't gain experience from allies' deaths, I think.
Combat victories are defined as like winning,
Yeah, I know. I
defeating
wasn't
them in
being
battle, not
serious.
necessarily killing them, but defeating them.
How much did we gain, did you say?
920.
920.
We now have 7743.
Yes.
Okay, I am going to stop the stream recording here.
I'm impressed. You guys
For
actually
watching.
managing that. That was not an easy task.
No. We'll
At
see you
all.
guys next week.
See ya.
ya.